And we're live! AOC fakes being handcuffed, and TYT loses their frickin' mind. A bunch of race-grifting people complain that white people don't donate to black people, and most importantly, Planned Parenthood on campuses as people frickin' lose their mind, and lesbians don't like diversity.
Oh my god, that was an amazing intro. Thank you, Spoon. You got the TLDR of it.
That sounds like Ben Shapiro's intro.
That's awesome. We need to do that more often. You need to come up with short TLDRs of what we're going to cover every week, based on reading the headlines that I accrue while eating bread.
Mm-hmm. By the way, have you noticed with AOC? This is a conspiracy theory. This is probably not.
All right, put on your tinfoil. Wrap your bread in your tinfoil. Hello, everybody. By the way.
Am I the only one who thinks that she's not really that stupid? She's just at this point thinking, like, how much shit can I actually do and people will still cheer me for me?
You know, I was about to disagree that she's not stupid, because she is stupid. But maybe she does realize at some point that she's kind of a protected class. I'd be like, what? How far can I push the envelope?
The reason I say this is because I've noticed with people, once they do something that gets attention, they have to keep one-upping the thing.
Of course. You always have to.
Yes, and with her, it's, I don't want to say stupidity, but just outrageous bullshit that anyone can see. It's just obviously blanket nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that blew up her... Now, she was already elected at that point, but one of the things that I think really blew up attention towards her was her going to the... When she went to the her dancing video, but the thing that of her first ridiculous major stunt was when she showed up, to the border and was crying at border, control facilities that weren't even there. She was just crying into space. Yeah, I mean, and in her totally white, fully white suit, falling on her knees and crying with her photographer, and it was like, but there's something on the other side of the fence. Alex. Yeah. Also, Ornu for 20 right out the gate. Hey, thank you, man. Said, here's money. We're gowing with tales of stupidity and politicians. Well, that is exactly what we have for you today.
That is my channel, essentially, in a nutshell, by the way.
Yeah, it is true. I thought we'd start out by enjoying the actual video of AOC's arrest. So for those of you who are not familiar, we will get into the article in just a moment, but I thought we should start with the video itself because it speaks 1,000 words. AOC, Ilhan Omar, and several other politicians were arrested. They were arrested. They were taken into custody. What does that actually mean? And now they weren't arrested in the same way that the January. They weren't arrested in the same way that the January 6th protesters were arrested and have been held for nearly 2 years without being actually, seen trial. They were arrested. Those I thought we would see. Yeah, I thought we would take a look, even though everyone's already mocked this, but I thought together we could enjoy this heinous act of seeing our elected officials being arrested by the Stasi police, and look at the horrible things that the cops did, and why would they have done this? It's because they just hate free speech, they hate democracy. Obviously, Spoon, correct? That has to have been why they arrested them.
By the way, I looked at that when you showed me the thumbnail for this video. First thing I thought, why is DL Hewley on the right there? Because it legitimately looks like, is that or Whoopi Goldberg? I can't tell.
Real quick, T3 Dragoon for 5 says, how much do we need to pay to have Spoon show up for one game as Baron Spork and rolling in the aisles where he plays the bad guy to fight/kill you all? That is a good question. Would you be willing to make a one-off appearance in our D&D game as Baron von Spookenheim?
I have to kill everyone.
Well, you could try to fight us. You might not win. But basically, Bill could make you a boss character.
Okay.
You could just show up and fuck with us.
Baron with
Kami Mark, myself, Kami Mark, and Uzlu, if you'd like to.
I can think about it.
I wanted Spoon to come play with us, but he's not very into D&D. It's too much of a nerd thing for him, I think.
The oddly thing of it is I'm very antisocial, despite being a YouTuber.
Yeah, I know. So
I'm
shall
an unusual
we?
Person, by the way.
Oh, I'm not good at socializing either.
You're better than me. More people know you.
I've been doing it longer. That's literally all it is. I've just been doing it longer.
And you're nicer than me.
Well, I don't know about that. I try, but that
You're definitely nicer than me.
Again, I don't know about that.
Okay, ask the chat. Who's nicer, me or Aiden?
Okay, do I have to put this as to a poll? I don't want to do this poll. I
No,
don't like
just
this
ask in
poll.
the chat.
Okay. I feel like
Spoon antisocial? Shocking. Yeah, very indeed.
Shall we, however, while you're still eating your breb, watch this heinous video of AOC being arrested. I think you can see some of Ilhan Omar in here. I don't know if this is the video with her being arrested as well, but do you have the watch together up?
Yep, go on.
All right, let's watch it. Well, they have a lot of energy, don't they?
I agree.
Very
You can't go back. You're already born.
Yeah. You can abort yourself, I guess. It is technically illegal to abort yourself, so don't do that, by the way.
What are you going to happen if you succeed?
If you succeed, nothing. If you fail, you can get in trouble, I guess. Mostly they'll send you to a mental hospital.
Wasn't that a law? Like the penalty
suicide's
for...
illegal. Yeah. You can see Ilhan Omar. She's in her matching orange. I actually don't know what her particular headpiece is called. That she's wearing. I don't want to expose my cultural insensitivity or lack of knowledge. You
know what it looks like? It looks like Okay, the chat will know this. If you
it looks like a traffic cone.
That's you. If you've ever played GTA Vice City, what was the name of the aunt that gives you the the missions for the Haitians? Auntie something is her name. She looks like
I'm
that.
trying to remember. A little bit, yeah.
Isn't it Auntie Paulie?
I can't remember, man. It's been forever.
Someone in the chat tell me this, because I'm 90% sure it's Auntie Paulie.
Well,
I think you make an accent.
In the interim.
Anyway, go on.
Also, it is a question of where are you going to go back? Like, what do you mean we won't go back? Go back to what? Not killing babies? Oh no. Oh,
you know why this looks so freaking stupid? Aside from the fact that in blue states, this will make no freaking difference whatsoever.
Yeah,
in red states, the people who are most overwhelmingly in favor of the ban are women, because more pro-lifers are female than they are male.
Yeah, because women know what's up, and you can't lie to us about what goes on in your body, you know? You can lie to men because men don't know, and they give women the benefit of the doubt for one reason or another. You can't lie to other women. Sorry, ladies.
It is also incredibly stupid. Like you would think with the Roe versus Wade thing being overturned, because the one thing is shriek is, oh my god, it's ending a democracy. All the Supreme Court did was give it back to the states. Not only is that not the case, there's more democracy in it.
Yes, is it now everyone can there's more ability for the people to decide what they want to do. It's more democracy. It's less tyranny. You can vote for it in your own state more directly now. Oh no, because it turns out it's actually that you don't want democracy. You don't want people to actually have rights and be able to choose. You want a dictatorial, totalitarian system. That's it.
No, but no. So some of the chat said that's Paulie. No, that's Paolo. That's the English bloke.
Oh
that's played by Danny Dyer. No. It's this is gonna. I have to look this up now because this is gonna freaking bug me.
All right. Well, I'm gonna play the video while you look it up. All right, so here's the thing. They don't have a permit.
Auntie Paulette, that's her name.
They're walking down the street without a permit. The police lady tells them,
you need a permit to protest?
Yes.
Why?
Because if you're going to block traffic, you have to have a permit.
You have to have a permit to be an asshole?
If you...
Why not get a permit? That's just more of an asshole move to begin with.
If you want to block the road, you have to have a permit to conduct a demonstration in the street. Yes. Now, you can do it off the street. You can do it on the sidewalk. But if you want to do it in the middle of the street, you have to have a permit because you're going to obstruct traffic.
Well, let's go to the courthouse and chuck eggs at it.
I mean, they could do that, but obviously, and here's my tinfoil conspiracy is that they knew they had to have a permit. This whole thing is staged, and I'll tell you why the fuck it's staged, because it's clearly goddamn staged, as we will witness here in a moment.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I think the police were in on it as well.
That's
too,
a
by the
female?
way. That's a female cop, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
The creature's voice is really deeper than mine.
I think the cops were in on this. They knew all about it, but they chose not to get a permit so that they would be quote unquote arrested. Oh my god. Because by the way, also as a politician, you wouldn't be out here without a whole bunch of security. So this whole thing is staged as hell.
By the way, that slogan, does that count for the Republicans kicking your ass in November as well?
No.
No, of course not. So
Of course
it's not democracy then.
So, another reason why I think it's just staged as fuck. Just another reason I think it's staged as fuck is that these relatively high level politicians are out here among the plebs with no security, making sure that someone doesn't walk up and just shank them. I don't buy it. Sorry, I don't buy it.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. Well, there was a bunch of police officers there.
Well, there's police officers there because they put a magical, invisible handcuff on her hands, but through the strength of pure willpower alone, she was able to break it, to raise her fist in defiance. Yeah?
Oh, stupid.
Hey, did you... What happened? Did you cut out the stream for a minute?
No, the thing crashed. It's on there.
Oh, so you missed my fucking little speech. God damn it. I'll do it again.
Again, OBS.
Alright. So, okay, the way
What music is playing in the background?
I don't care. The point that matters is that, do you see how they're just going along with the cops? AOC gently puts down her little sign. I hate this video because they put up all these fucking things that you can't get rid of.
Do you have the bit where she puts up her fist?
Yes, it's in this. It's in this. You're just gonna have to look through past the stupid things. It's in here. So here we can go. She puts down her little sign. Now she has been handcuffed by the invisible power of the patriarchy. As we can see, the patriarchy has bound her hands. It is invisible, but that's only because you can't see how strong the patriarchy is, all right? She's being led away. But
the invincible power of the patriarchy.
Through the strength of her own willpower alone, there it is. By the strength of her own willpower alone, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez has broken the invisible bonds of the patriarchy to raise her fist in defiance of toxic masculinity and break her invisible bonds.
I really like that invisible power of the patriarchy. That was good.
It's truly powerful. I'm speechless. And then she goes and puts her hands back as if she's still being handcuffed.
Okay.
Like, so why did she how did she think this would work? By the way, like her
supporters don't give a crap. That's the problem.
I guess so, right?
This is the thing. This is the problem. As far as I'm aware, AOC. This is my take on her. She realizes her support base is stupid as shit. Yes, like she can do absolutely anything.
Yeah,
and no one will just give a crap. Like, she's at this point where like my support base is thick as pictured, and no one will hold me to account for doing anything. She's very, I won't say Trumpian, but she's got that sort of Trumpian mentality of any publicity is good publicity, because that's how she rolls. It doesn't matter what she does.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't matter what she does. She knows she'll get attention, and any attention is good attention by her.
Yeah, Hassan Abbas says, this will work with her supporters. It doesn't matter if it makes no sense whatsoever.
Right, in a way, maybe we shouldn't cover it, but because you can also see the entire time she's being walked away, she's smiling. She's got a giant. If you go to the New York Post article, that's there, I'll repost it here. Because it gives you also in the little video they have that's embedded in the site. They have a little bit of video if you want to put on for a minute there. I don't know. I think it's.
I don't know. Let me see.
What?
God, that's insufferable smug face of her. It's just ridiculous.
I know. And she just smugly fucking, chuckling to herself. You can tell. Haha, I got it. And what she's thinking is, I got away with it. I'm about to get away with a big fucking thing, and again, I think the cops are in on this.
She's not OJ.
No, do you think the cops are in on this? By the way,
Yeah,
the Capitol
definitely.
Police. I think after the whole thing, the cops asked them to leave really politely 3 times. They didn't have a
If the cops don't
permit
cuff you and you're just walking away, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so of course the cops asked them to leave politely 3 times. They're walking there with regular people without security detail, which means they know that they're safe because they're surrounded by cops who are on their side, right? It's all staged. Every single thing about this, including the quote-unquote arrest, which they were detained. Every single thing about this was faked by the fucking DC Police Department. In my inclusion with AOC,
It must be a slow news day from New York Post.
etc. Yeah. Well, no.
No, because
New York
look
Post
at the top one that's trending there.
Oh, what is it?
It's just a chick
I'm
with
a
boobs.
nurse. Oh, New York Post always does weird shit like that.
Yeah, congratulations, you
fakes-
have boobs, and you're like deliberately pressing them out.
People call my... Yeah, you're... That's not how you work scrubs. Anywho, far left rep AOC was roundly mocked on social media Tuesday after she put her arms behind her back to imitate being handcuffed following her arrest at a pro-abortion demonstration outside the Supreme
I like the way
Court.
that they're calling it that.
What do you mean?
They're calling it pro-abortion, not pro-choice.
This is the New York Post. It's a right-leaning outlet.
Yeah, but it's sometimes.
The New York Post is demonstrably right-leaning.
Good.
It's one of very few. It's one of very few newspapers that has any kind of right-leaning basis. I'm not saying it's far right or anything.
The left are fine.
Yeah. Sean Illingsworth for 5 says, if it's staged, why wouldn't she have them just use real handcuffs? Oh, good question. Imagine the clout she'd get from her own side. I don't think she would want to. It would be uncomfortable for her, Sean. I think that's why.
And also, it wouldn't be as ludicrous of her putting her fist up. That's the reason why.
Right. She couldn't put her fist up, so she couldn't get, because you want the double
photo op. Yeah, that's the reason.
You want her being walked away by the police with her hands behind her back, so you can get that one. But then you also want her raising a fist. So to do both, and because you wouldn't want to slightly inconvenience or discomfort her, because I don't know if you know this, but handcuffs. Who was the person who complained about there was somebody who, like, one guy who was arrested was like, you can't handcuff me, it hurts so bad. But I do think they're probably uncomfortable because they're metal. I can't imagine they're fun to have on. So you wouldn't want to
they're made to be uncomfortable.
Right.
It's not the same one you use in your bedroom. That's fur-lined, that you use for mischievous purposes.
So you wouldn't want to
in any
way cause any minor discomfort to the brave woman. So, but at the same time, you need to have her
those manicured hands.
Yes, get her fist up and have the hands behind her back. So the best way to do it was to actually not cuff her. But that's a good point, Sean. And then DRT is king for 5.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
DRT is king for 5 says, you can call the cops in some major cities to stage arrests for political purposes. It has been the case since the 80s to discourage the violence. I have no idea about the validity of that statement, but
I can believe that.
I can believe it as well.
I can absolutely believe that.
It just, the whole thing reads as fake as fuck.
That's because AOC's involved. Everything is fake.
But it's not just her. It's all of us. It's a whole squad. Right? And none of them were actually being arrested. They were just, we're going to walk you away very quietly. To me, it sounds like the entire thing was planned and staged and set up beforehand. Because also, too, did you notice that before she was
if she was actually arrested, she wouldn't be that calm.
Well, no, of course not. And did you notice that they just walked away calmly? She put down her little sign and then went with the police.
Mm-hmm.
She had plenty. It was not in any kind of
punishment.
No duress. I'd assume AOC would be a glutton for punishment. Yeah, Jarnegi. Yeah, I would assume so as well. But yeah, she and the other ones, the other female politicians who were out there, whinging, they all just kind of walked away. Her smugly chuckling. You think she could at least manage to? I thought she was an actress. She can't even act enough to be able to turn off her smug face.
No,
and pretend that she's upset.
It's like her default face.
I know.
Also, someone pointed out. I don't know if this is true.
This one pisses me off so much. I hate this story.
Why'd you put it in? Oh, yeah, it's
hilarious.
It is the story of the week. Yeah, it is really stupid. But someone pointed out. Do you remember the who was the the guy who taunted her last week.
Oh, what's his name? The guy who called her
Alex
big
Stein or
booty
something?
Latina. Yes, something Stein. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Alex Stein. I think that was correct.
Someone pointed out in the video later on. She said that there's no one to protect us or whatever.
Oh right, yeah.
Someone looked at the video back. The guy walking next to her is her boyfriend.
Oh really? But either way,
and then he said there's no one to protect us.
You're surrounded by Capitol Police. You're surrounded by police officers
Alex
in every
Stein,
single one of
there
these
we go,
instances. Alex Stein, yeah. Thanks, guys. But yeah, she's always surrounded by police officers. Just her smug fucking face. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I don't normally. I know it's considered misogynistic, I guess, but why do I care about that opinion? Which is that sometimes you just want to punch somebody in their smug fucking face in Minecraft. You know what I mean?
I can think of 3 people that I would punch just for their face in top of my head.
Yeah,
2 of them are rugby players, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
And it's annoying because one of them I can't stand because he's really bloody good. And then I heard him talk and I went, he's actually a nice guy, which pisses me off because it makes me wanting to hit him a lot less motivating now. He's actually a nice guy. Like, If you're rugby fans, you'll know Richie McCaw, who's a New Zealander. No, David Hogg is not someone I want to punch. I'm convinced he's an alien.
I kind of want to. I mean, like I don't want to actually.
Have
punch
you seen
anybody,
his face?
but
like the shape of his skull. He straight up looks like the aliens you would see in like the X-Files.
Yeah, I know. He
is not of this world. I don't care what anyone says.
I'm not saying I want to punch AOC either, but when someone's making a face like that, when they know they're getting away with something fucking evil, it does cause maybe not punch. I just want to give you like a little just smack the smile off your face in Minecraft because I really can't stand. She knows she's getting away with evil. That's why I hate it. I hate the fact that she knows she's getting away with a little fucking trick to gain her a bunch of attention.
It's evil or just stupid?
Oh no, this is evil. This whole thing, considering that it was, in my opinion, coordinated with the DC police, which it clearly was on some level.
Okay, so that's the evil act. I thought you meant what they're protesting for is evil.
No. I mean, her collaborating with the DC police.
David looks like the Walmart Frankie Muniz. Oh my god, that's so true. He totally does. He absolutely does. Oh my, I can't unsee that now. But that, oh my god, that is dead on. That is absolutely true. He really does look like a Frankie Muniz Walmart version. But if you're in England, you say it's like a Tesco version, but yeah, he does.
Tesco version.
But he totally does.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. The thing that
like she's sorry to translate from Brit Bronxton. He's the dollar store version, right?
Well, our audience is not that stupid. They know what's up.
No, I know. I'm just translating. But it's you can tell from the smug look on her face that she knows she's doing something evil. She knows she's going to get away with it. She knows that the only places that will actually report on it, honestly, are places like the New York Post. And then she can just be like, those are right-wing hate outlets. I was actually arrested. You were arrested. You were detained. That's very true. But you weren't fucking handcuffed, and you pretended to be. You nasty words I can't say.
Who goes out protesting in heels?
Because she knew that she was going to be protected by police the entire time, and the whole thing is freaking staged. That's who.
Or just pick a bit the moment that she's in the pose.
It's all fake. It is all staged. AOC kept the charade.
Shit in this.
Oh, maybe. Kept the charade of being restrained for a few steps before raising her fist to supporters, watching them from the sidewalk. She then crossed her wrist behind her back again in the faux handcuff position. The clip spread like wildfire.
What is with how is this a right-wing outlet and all I just see is like boobs everywhere?
Oh, New York Post. I would play you a clip from
She's too old to wear a bikini. If that's her on the right, she is not too old. She can pull that off with a lot of grace. Well done. I mean, her chest is obviously fake.
Oh, the one on the right, that's not AOC.
I know.
That's a nurse. Oh.
No, the one on page 6. Like, well done to her.
John Mulaney has an extensive bit about the New York Post. The New York Post is like actual news, because remember, they broke the Hunter Biden laptop story, right?
Well done to them.
Yeah. So the New York Post is like gossip, garbage rag, and serious news, and nothing in between. Like, that's how the Post is.
You know what I really like about all the police officers? All the police officers are black. Almost all of them. Most of them are. What are you talking about? Oh, there's one that's white dude here.
There's two that I see that are white.
Black,
there's three that are white right around here. 1, 2. It's about it's about like 50-50.
Of course it is.
The one who walked her away is if you scroll down, look at the people who are actually right behind her walking her
Maybe
away.
I should take that back. There's a lot of.
There's one black guy.
There's ones. I see a lot. Like in this
photo,
there's 3 of them.
There's a couple. So I was going to scroll down through this article anyway to talk about the
By the
other
way,
people who were
if you're a police officer on a bike, no one should take you seriously.
Yeah. Capitol Police, must have put invisible handcuffs on AOC.
There's an active shooter.
Political analyst.
There's an active shooter.
Armin Kinsey. So most of this article is just about just talking about the tweets.
Oh, of course it is. Jesus fucking Christ.
yeah.
New York Post, you can do better than this, for heaven's sakes.
No, they can't. This is what they do. But here's what I want to get to. AOC's office did not immediately respond to the Post's request for comment on the incident. However, she later addressed the fake handcuff accusation during an informal Q&A on her Instagram. Quote, Republicans' favorite hobby is to make conspiracy theories out of everything to distract you.
We saw you!
About what's actually important. Yeah, it's not a conspiracy theory, you dumb bent. We all saw you fake being handcuffed.
There's video footage of you!
It's extensive. From 50 different angles.
Yes!
Faking it.
Like, when everyone is memeing on you for just being a daft git, it's not a conspiracy theory. Like, hey, look, here's video footage of her raising her fist after just claiming she was handcuffed. Like, it's not a conspiracy theory, you tool.
She's not denying it, by the way. She's not denying that she faked it. She's just saying it's a conspiracy theory.
It gives credence to conspiracy theories, by the way.
To continue the quote, which is the fact that they are trying to take away your right to bodily autonomy, Ocasio-Cortez said while speaking to the camera on Instagram story. Quote, if I was faking that, why would I intentionally fist pump somebody? It's so silly. No, you got caught. That's what happened. You tried to do a little photo op for your fist bump, but you wanted all the cameras to catch you with your hands behind your back like you were fucking being detained, which, how about the fact that all of the rest of the squad did the same movement? It was all planned.
Yeah.
These people hate you, and they know that they can fucking easily manipulate stupid people.
This woman's head is shinier than mine.
The booked lawmakers include reps Rashida Tlaib of is it Tlaib? They've changed the way they spell her name. That's weird. Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, Jackie Spear of California, Ilhan Omar, Ariana Presley, Andy Levine, Barbara Lee, Cori Bush. So it's all the usual suspects, right? Catherine Clark, Nadia Vasquez, and Jan Schakowsky, Madeline Dean, and Sarah Jacobs. I don't know some of these people, but most of those names are quite familiar. Grainy video of Omar also showed squad member walking several steps with her hands behind her back as if handcuffed. The image is there on the screen, obviously on the New York Post article. However, she too raised her right arm in a clenched fist salute without any difficulty. It's almost like it was all freaking planned. They had this planned and probably had it worked out with the fucking DC police for weeks. It's really sickening. It really makes me want to puke when you see how this is all coordinated, and they can laugh in your face. They can make smugly chuckle and smile in your face as they know they're getting away with propaganda, and they know that it'll be backed up by their friends in the media.
Look at this put. One Capitol police officer was seen telling the members that water was on the way as they relaxed. That's not a protest. That's a day out in the sun with the police officer for a photo shoot.
Yes, that's what it was.
That's not a protest.
Yeah. They were being babysat. They were being babysat by the DC police. Yeah. And then when it came time to we have to
people.
Yes, this was a baby's day out with the DC police until we had to put on our big show. Sean Illingsworth for 5 says, getting arrested while grinning like an idiot, the incel AOC versus the Chad Count Dankula. You know what? That is true. Dankula did smile like an idiot. It was great. screen like an idiot, but that's because it's
That's
very
more like a
different
meme, though.
circumstance. Oh, that was for the meme, yeah. Kizza for £5 says, "Evening, Aiden Spoon. Hey, Kizza. I'd love to stay, but gotta be up early for work. I'll be free next week if you're all down for the car stream next time." Oh yeah, I don't know if Kizza talked about that, Spoon. We'll talk about that.
McLaren F1 ruins Supreme.
Says, see, I think Spoon's down for the car stream, Kizza. Lance for 10 says, "The greatest mistake in this day and age is attributing to stupidity what is rightfully attributable to evil." I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Always assume malice before ignorance. You'll be better off for it. And the problem is that
it used to be the other way around.
It used to be reversed, but I think at this point, when it comes to left-wing politics, you do actually have to
just
assume evil
malice.
And not ignorance. Because they know that people assume stupidity or
it's easier to dismiss it as stupid
when they're actually being evil. I'm not saying all of them all the time. A lot of them
think
are
some
stupid.
of them are stupid. Like AOC is definitely an idiot.
AOC's stupid, but this was clearly planned because her and Ilhan Omar did the exact same thing, where they put their hands behind their back, then they raised the fist. Yes, they put their hands behind their back at the same time where they're being walked away by their daycare attendants. Then they raise their fist for the photo op, and they put the hands back behind. They both do the exact same thing. That's planned. Just saying. Also, so what? Now, the big headline is that they were arrested. So what were they charged with, Spoon? Must be something really severe.
Campaigning while gay?
Charged with crowding, obstructing, or inaccommodating, and need to pay how much money?
$50.
It's in the article. $50. So for
oh my
this
goodness! I just guessed
stunt,
50 quid.
Yeah, for this
I didn't even see
stunt,
that. I just guessed 50.
Yeah, you're right. For this giant stunt, they now have to pay $50.
Oh, what the shit?
No, if you look at the left-leaning media, it's all about how, oh my god, I can't believe that AOC and Ilhan Omar were arrested by the fascist police. Well, they were detained and taken off out of the area and then asked to pay a $50 fine. They were not held in a prison. They were not held at the precinct. They were walked away from the area and issued a $50 fine.
That's not a fine. That's a lunch break.
Yeah, for them, I guarantee most of these people pay $100 for lunch in DC. Because for another £5 says, okay, good to know. I've got 3 weeks off from Friday, so Spoon, let's go all in on the McLaren F1, XJ220, and any other cars that take your fancy. So yeah, if you, I thought you guys would have a fun time.
And the old DB5
talking about cars. Yeah, Hasselhoff, though, less than a speeding ticket. So this was the fucking Holocaust 5 that happened.
What? That's what this was called?
Oh, they're just no. I mean, like they're just saying it. As always, the far left, goes nuts with that shit. Actually, I didn't have this this particular article or story brought up, but I'll get to it later. Did you see about the mom who was? But the mom who was, there were a bunch of, this guy, Andrew Tekel Sundberg, who...
That is quite a Jewish name.
He's a black guy, but who tried...
Okay, take that back then.
We'll get into it. I forgot about the story because I forgot to include it because it's kind of reached a weird point, but let's finish our AOC coverage and then we'll move into that. I thought we would take a look at how the Young Turks have responded.
Oh my god, I want to see this.
To this.
Oh my god! Please tell me.
Please
tell me Anna Kasparian is in it because I like watching her
in
just
DC.
lose it. Oh,
so
not this. No, not this bitch. I know this woman and I can't stand her because she's
insufferable. Do you want to watch it or not? Then.
Yeah.
Let's just go. It's only 7 minutes. Let's see what
this
the
is
Young
7
Turks.
minutes. This is going to be 7 minutes of me getting upset, people.
Impeccable
if you enjoy seeing me miserable, Aiden, you're probably gonna like
only
this.
Sometimes. I'll put it on a little. We'll increase the speed a little bit to get this a little bit faster.
Just today, Capitol Police arrested 34 abortion rights demonstrators for blocking
abortion rights demonstrators. Abortion rights. Sorry, I don't like that term.
No, they're
abortion rights. I know it's TYT. I know.
Why must you torture us, Aiden?
Sorry.
road in DC, and among those, 16 representatives, 16 lawmakers, including Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Ilhan Omar, Representative Cory Bush, Representative
If only you were right-wing.
We already went through the names.
Rashida Tlaib, and Representative Ayanna Pressley.
Why do you think she's cute?
Again, if only she was right-wing. She's like, you're very pretty, but as soon as you talk, all of the attraction just fades.
Spoon likes the Asian ladies.
She's Asian?
Yeah.
I thought she was
She looks
Latino.
like it. Is she Latina? I don't know.
Squad plus the people.
The fact that we can't identify that is troubling.
I don't know. She could be mixed of some sort, I suppose.
She could be both.
You might imagine, and here's a little bit of that arrest.
This is not an arrest. Listen to this crap.
I know. Look at how happy. Look, here's the horrifying arrest. Here it is. Look how happy she is. They didn't even try to cover up, really, the fact that you can see she's not being handcuffed.
All I can hear is Agent Smith's voice in the back of my head going, me, me, me.
Right.
Carried away to the sound of the beat there, the little drum circle. That was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez being carried away with another activist.
Carried
away. She was escorted.
She was being friendly escorted after she had time to put down her little sign and then walked away with her hands behind her back of her own volition, clearly all set up by the DC police, but I digress.
Alongside her, she was in.
Why is everyone saying, why is my name all over in chat, the true libertarian? Like, yes, I'm libertarian.
Handcuffs there. And this is Representative Rashida Tlaib putting out a statement. She was also arrested. She writes, civil disobedience has always been part of our history and fight for.
But just moving right on forward past that bit, huh?
For change. This moment and the fight for women's and reproductive rights calls for it. The fight is far from over, and we must push forward with bold action to protect and preserve our.
You live in a blue state. Nothing is gonna happen where you live, you old toff.
Rashida Tlaib, she's from Minnesota, right?
Yes, I don't know if that's blue or red, but yes.
It's a bit purple, but it leans blue, yeah.
Right. We won't back down. So they're putting their bodies on the line. Meanwhile, Jill Biden is saying things like, what are you gonna do next, little girl? By the way, she said that to her granddaughter, who also went out and protested recently abortion rights and the abortion bans.
That's cringe.
It's super cringe.
That's the cringiest thing I've ever heard. Like a child protesting for abortion rights, that's the creepiest thing I've ever heard.
It sounds like I'm sorry, if a child is protesting for abortion rights, it sounds like they want to be aborted.
Wait, hold on. JP says libertarians like Asian ladies. Really?
Yeah, often. It's a bit of a meme.
Is it?
You know, it's a bit of a meme. I don't know. That libertarians like Asian women. Yeah, it's a meme.
I mean, that is. I tend to like pretty girls in general. I don't know about you guys. I don't really care so much where you're from. As long as you're not
as long as you're pretty. Understandable. As
long as you're not from that continent in the middle.
But this is ridiculous. So, yeah, you go out there and fight little lady to an why would you tell a child to protest for abortion rights? It doesn't.
For the same reason you take them to a gay pride rally.
Yes, why should a child even know what abortion is? What is
that's pretty creepy.
It's super creepy. It's grooming. Let's just call it what it is. I know that, and you know that word is now banned from Reddit, right?
Asian women do as they're told.
You know that you can't use the word groomer on Reddit anymore. It's like an instant ban on a whole bunch of subs.
Yes.
Because they were ashamed of the mirror being put up to their faces, I would assume.
You do realize that banning it makes it sound like you're either offended by it, kind of goes without saying, but you also
they're offended.
No,
but
this one,
if
you weren't being if you're not offended, you wouldn't ban it.
No, it's because it resembles them too much. That's what it is. They know.
Well, yeah, they're offended by it because that is what it's true. You're not offended by anything unless it actually is true. That's my statement.
She said, "Cute. What are you doing next?" That was fun.
Why is it fun, you creepy weirdo?
How fun! I can't. And then we're like, how dare you say that Democrats and the left like killing babies? Because you say that it's fun. Because you say things like that. That's why. Because you say protesting for abortion is fun. It's fun to get a child to protest for abortion.
I would like to get this girl into a dark room and read her some evil literature. And by evil literature, I mean like Mises.
Yeah, read some Mises literature. That's a lost cause, though. I'm telling you, dude.
That is not a lost
Amazing.
cause. My voice is sexy, and I can convince many women that Mises is godlike.
2 quick notes. It's not all doom and gloom on the state level. Minnesota has recently struck.
Can I actually read right-wing literature in a sexy way and see if it can actually work?
Maybe, but it's okay. So it's Minnesota. So that's Rashida Tlaib's state. I think. I think.
I
Tlaib
have a
is,
devious plan, ladies and gentlemen. It is to get a whole cohort of women to believe right-wing ideas through sexual manipulation. Can this be done?
I'm gonna leave Tlaib.
I need some.
Oh, she's Michigan.
I need some left-wing women that are
Tlaib's Michigan.
open-minded.
Omar's Minnesota. I think.
A judge struck down numerous state abortion restrictions. The judge found that several of the laws, which were enacted over decades.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what the hell are you? What are you protesting about then?
Yeah, what are you protesting about? So in Minnesota, which is Ilhan Omar's state, then you can still get your abortion. So what's the problem? Well, again, she's saying it's a good thing, so whatever.
Violated the Minnesota Constitution, which enshrines
It
abortion
doesn't-
rights. Again,
it
we're back
doesn't,
to
but
state
okay.
rights here. States' rights. So Minnesota did that. Now
Oh, now you give a shit about states' rights.
So guess what? 2 states, like I just said, Ilhan Omar's state and Rashida Tlaib's state. So why are they out there screaming and bitching and moaning? Their 2 states have overturned it, essentially, have overturned the overturn of Roe v. Wade and said that they're allowed to get an abortion in those states. So what's the fucking issue? Why are you out here bitching? Oh, because it's all performative. This was all an entire giant fucking act. That's why.
The dances.
2 of the women fucking quote unquote arrested, and by that they really mean detained temporarily, are from states that just went ahead and confirmed abortion as a right within that state.
Dan
And they're out here.
says, "Can I get a recording
So-
of Thomas Sowell's Basic Economics?" There's several people on YouTube, I think, that have done recordings of Basic Economics. I don't think you need to do it unless you just want to hear me
It
read
is
it.
required listening or reading. So
Yes, in
Okay.
Aiden's world, in Aiden's world, you are not allowed to talk to her unless you at least have heard Thomas Sowell, and if you have read his books,
I
it
didn't
would
say
greatly.
you couldn't talk to me. I'd say we probably wouldn't be able to have a
Rational common
productive
sense.
conversation on anything related to economics if you haven't read Basic Economics by
Yes.
Thomas Sowell.
Yes,
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. But I don't think you want me to read it. It's a pretty big book.
It's quite extensive.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
that's-
super long. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, it says you who reads like several hundred pages by the hour. Yeah, but my
Yeah,
voice is
true,
sexier.
true,
I know.
true.
I don't want sex appeal to come through to economics. That's a bit unusual.
That's how you make people listen to That's how you get people to listen to Basic Economics.
Is to make it
Put
sexy.
sex appeal. Put sex appeal in it.
I don't know. There is something weird about that. Is that I've had people just say like, "Why don't you read like adult literature?" I'm like, no. I mean, I can see the appeal, but I don't. Yeah, future cat ladies. Yeah, thank you. That's like no. I don't. Just the idea that there's like middle-aged women getting off to my voice gives me the heebie-jeebies. Because I've had people
Michigan
tell me to do
did
that.
tons,
Yeah.
tons of signatures, 750,000 signatures. And so abortion rights now poised to go before Michigan voters this fall as hundreds of thousands.
Why are they killing
they're-
off their own
so-
voters, by the way?
I don't know. So the thing is, it's probably going to be fine. It's probably going to be legal in Michigan and Minnesota. Again, they're supposed to vote for it. That was the whole point of returning it to the states. And once again, the 2 of the people detained in this protest represent these 2 states. Journey for 5 says, "Stupid, sexy utensil." Yeah, crazy future cat lady's probably. Oh, I missed that part. Yeah.
By the way, I've read. Okay, I want to say I've read 50 Shades of Grey, but I've read some of it. It's not very well
Ew.
written. It's very
No,
bland.
it's a fan fiction.
No, but I mean, the character Christian Grey is really, really boring. He's very robotic as a character. I don't know if women
Well, you know
find
what-
that attractive, but it's just
No. The reason why is so
it's
that
very boring.
the whole thing, everything about that book, from my understanding of it, and I have not read it, is that I read a little bit of it because I was in a book club when I was in college, in grad school, and I was in a book club to like meet other people, and we were reading fucking 50 Shades. So I read a little bit of it. I was like, why are we reading this? It's a terrible book.
Yes, it is. Agreed.
But what I read of it, what I think the point is, and I think this is kind of widely accepted, is that everything is supposed to be so bland and nondescript that women can put any elements that they want in their head into Christian Grey, and then can put themselves into the position of the woman. You know?
Really? You think it's that?
Oh yeah, it's complete. It's so you can be a self-insert. It's so everyone can imagine herself as being seduced by this man, and then they can put any additional elements into his character that they want to read into it, right? So it's just pure fantasy.
Yeah, because
the petition.
When I read it, I went, this is really... There's nothing special about the character. Like, he's very just... I won't say corporatized, but it's more just... very, like, very copy and paste. Because when I read him, I think, is this what women find attractive in this character? Because he's just... He's domineering, but not in a way that is sexy. It's not... It's just very, very standard. I just read that, like, I have written dirtier things in this.
Yeah,
and I think most people
standard.
have.
That's why it's not that all women like that. Women like that. It's that he's so generic. Women can put whatever other things they want onto him, and women can imagine themselves in the situation. That's why it's so bland and so generic.
I mean, whatever you're into, I guess.
It broke records. They want to put that into their state constitution. These are Midwest, bluish, mostly blue states, but especially on abortion rights, absolutely overwhelmingly for them. And if it's been kicked back to the states are trying to buck up to not throw women and other people under the bus.
I thought this was a problem.
So I love this development in terms of the protests. Progressive activists have been trying to get influential Democrats to do something for decades now, and civil disobedience is top of the list.
This is doing something according to Chunk.
What do you mean doing something for decades? You had it under Roe versus Wade. That's total crap. You didn't do shit for decades.
According to Chunk, this is doing something.
This is
pretending to be arrested is doing something.
This is bad theater.
Yeah, it really is.
And up until now, we've gotten a wall of no, you guys go out there and we'll privately mock you and tell the reporters not to cover you. We're not gonna put our precious ass on the line. But now we have just Democrats, and now we have progressives in Congress. And progressives actually want to fight Republicans. Establishment Democrats love Republicans, and they like Republicans. Joe Biden likes Republicans.
No, they're like establishment Republicans.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're basically, this is something people need to understand. There is no difference between establishment Democrats and Republicans. They're one family. Like Michael Malice at this point that Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi are a lot more related than they would be to the average person, regardless of party affiliation. Yes, because they don't give a shit. And then you get people like Trump. Like, this is how you know you're the right person. If you're hated by both sides.
Yeah, probably.
That's how you know you're the right gig. If you're hated by both Republicans and Democrats, you're doing something right. Mm-hmm. Very simple. Go on, fat bastard.
There's way more than he likes his own voters. Way more. I mean, Mitch McConnell said that the Chad Meredith.
You realize his eyebrows look like a fucking anime character. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I bet.
Nomination, the extremist right-wing judge that is anti-choice that Biden was going to put on to the federal bench.
Oh yes, the extremist who just says, you know what we should do? We should have the states have it.
Yeah, how extremist?
Joe just did it as a sign of personal friendship, as a gesture of friendship. Because Joe Biden loves Mitch McConnell. He loves him. His own voters, he couldn't give a rat's ass about. Okay, but sorry, now there's.
I mean, it is kind of funny to watch how much they hate Joe Biden. I mean, they're not wrong about this part, right?
Yeah.
And so
they're just wrong for
they're doing.
They're right for the wrong reasons.
And I love it. And by the way, mainstream.
Yeah, but their thing is that, like I said, these are the people that think, oh, the problem with democracy is we need the wrong people. We need to get the correct people and give them oodles amount of power.
Yeah, and then make it so that no one else can ever get into power. That is,
yes.
And to destroy the once we get into ultimate power, then we can destroy the democracy because then we're in power and we voted for it once. And that's all that matters. That's how they think, and don't get it twisted.
That's how
their view of what. No, yeah, but it's a little bit different.
Yes, yes, they want the government to do everything, and we're like, no. You should do defense, rule of law, and then shut the hell up.
And they want also the benefits of being perceived of as a democratically elected government, so that the people will think and feel happy about
we don't want that
they've done, and will not overthrow their government. That's the difference.
Yeah, we're not that.
Placate the masses.
Yeah,
we're not placating anybody.
No.
Media liars. Okay, you always portray progressives as not democratic enough, which is the height of absurdity. No, they're actual Democrats.
What the hell are you talking about? That is you to freaking tea.
No, again.
It's so
Most of what Cenk says is literally nonsensical. So that's why I
What
like
are
to
you talking
pop in
about?
a TYT video, because it actually is impossible to understand what he's talking about anymore.
He's also got the
he's
crazy
calling-
eyes, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't have full Sanpaku. Well, and the one in the left eye.
He's not
but
far
yeah,
off.
Not far off, yeah.
The other side is Republicans. I know if you're in the press, you're taught to love bipartisanship. Oh, when corporate...
You know, you would think for someone that rants and raves so freaking much, he'd have a caloric deficit. Because he's moving constantly.
Yeah, he must eat so much shit to be that big still.
Republicans and corporate Democrats make out, and they make a little corporate subsidy bill, baby. That's when you're like the happiest guys alive. You're like, yes, finally, corporations win again and again. Yes.
Yes, it is very nice for you when corporations win, Cenk. I know.
Yeah,
I know that you're pretending that you don't like it, that you're pretending that you hate it.
Says the person who's bankrolled by Qatar.
In this, not just by Qatar, this guy's even though his campaign was a complete and fucking utter.
Let's see what is his. Let's see what is Cenk's net worth.
Well, the Young Turks is massively propped up by private investors from huge firms. So in their entire
his net worth is $10 million. Yeah, he's really pinned to blue collar people right there.
As was his political campaigns. And it's all about how they have to pretend that they're independent media, despite being the antithesis of it, and at every point trying to shut down anyone slightly to the right of them who is independent media.
Oh, progressives are fighting Republicans. Tut, tut, tut. How dare you? Don't you know that the job of the Democrat is to lose and to surrender to Republicans? No.
Is this guy high?
He's just nuts. He's out of his mind anymore. He has no idea what's like.
When does that ever happen?
TYT has had to move so far left without actually changing their politics at all. They're just appealing to the Vosh audience at this point, right? The Vosh, far left audience, despite that not actually being their politics. So they're kind of stuck in a weird limbo on it. Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Know that. And if you're an establishment Democrat, get the hell out of our way. Which is, by the way, 90% of the Democratic Party. Get out of the way, get out of the way, so we can get into the fight and fight those Republicans. So thank you, AOC, Tlaib, and all the others for being actual Democrats and for actually caring.
Pretend to be arrested, apparently. I mean, that's why he's thanking them. Thank you so much for pretending to be arrested. Thank you for your fucking beautiful little show you put on for everybody. How nice.
And I mean, you would Democratic leadership. I mean, they might do this like many months from now with kente cloth and a Bono poem in their hand, as like if they realize it's good optics, and then they can send an email fundraising off of it, right? But
like you do all the time. Okay.
Any action to fight Republicans? Nothing at all. The only thing Democratic leadership has done since Roe got overturned was to help anti-choice legislators. That's not.
Oh, how'd they do that? How'd they do that? Didn't you just go over how the people? Remember how you like democracy, Cenk? According to yourself, now you don't, but you claim to. Are fighting for state legislatures to implement abortion policies in Minnesota and Michigan. 2 of the states from 2 of these big people who were quote unquote arrested. No, but you don't want that because you don't want democracy. You want a totalitarian system where rule from above dictates, not rule from the people. At the state level, just say what you mean. And I'd really prefer if you could be fucking honest, but of course you can't, you fat buffalo piece of shit. Sorry, I don't like Cenk.
Hyperbole.
Yeah, no.
Nancy Pelosi helped to put Cuellar, Jim Clyburn helped to put Cuellar back into Congress. Cuellar's anti-choice. That's a fact. He voted to defund Planned Parenthood among many other terrible votes. And Joe Biden helped to try to put an anti-choice judge on the federal court. That the only thing they've done is to help the other side. Democratic leadership they're the worst people on the planet because
Biden is bought and paid for by whoever pays them the most.
How do we help those monsters?
100%, and I'll just say that Nancy Pelosi, as recently as 2016, was saying that abortion rights shouldn't be a purity test for Democrats. Yeah, you can be anti-choice and still a Democrat. No.
So interesting. I mean,
again, that's quite a sane take.
It is a sane take. It shouldn't be a purity test because guess what? Like more than half the country. It depends on if you're going by pure population, it's less than half. If you're going by districting, it's more than half the country thinks that abortion is wrong. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed they don't actually even mention that.
No, because of course not. Because all they care about is pure numbers. So they care about like, and by the way, don't hope on those pure demographic numbers for too long. Because the more people that you import to vote for Democrats from South America, the less support you're going to have for abortion. Because those people do not like abortion. They're Catholics.
I was going to say that. Yeah, they're Catholics.
They're not in favor of it. It was a weird, an interesting sort of misstep fuck up for the Dems to not realize that by massively importing people from South America that who are not in favor of rampant of things like transgender stuff and of sexual deviancy and abortion, that a lot of their far left progressive ideas, their woke scold shit, was not going to be supported by people from South America. Even if you promise them all the money in the world, little, grandma, abuela, doesn't like this shit. And I'm more aligned with abuela than these people, honestly. Also, Ardent Party for Two Canadian says, a chunk reminds me of Barry the stoner from GTA 5. He gets irrationally mad all the time, man.
No, you don't get to do that. Sorry, not anymore. And the new progressive leadership that is coming up is not afraid to say the word abortion, is not afraid to link it to broader maternal health care, is not afraid to be the ones on the front.
How is it related to maternal? How can abortion possibly be related to maternal health care? Because you're not going to be a mom if you've aborted your child, ding dong.
That's a good point.
Lines of things like universal family leave, of Medicare for all, because of course this is an access issue. This is a healthcare issue. So my God, I just wish they would sit their asses down and think about and like look at the beasts that they've handed us to. They've walked us into the mouths of these murderers. And now
this is fucking unbelievable. I know, what the hell? What
are you talking about?
That they, because they're mad basically that the Democrats aren't doing enough to break the law. What I would imagine what Chunk and her want is for the Democrats to just say, no, we are not going to obey the Supreme Court. We're not going to obey SCOTUS. We're just going to do whatever the fuck we want. That would be my guess. Now, again, I can't play solipsism over here, but that would be my guess. Is that what you want the Democrats to do? Is just say no civil war? I thought that was a Tim Pool line. And no offense to Tim, but I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, is that what you want? You just want them to be like, no, we're not. And I have seen calls for that. I think we covered it last. Well, we covered it last week, I think, where there was an article that said that basically that, yeah, Democratic states should just ignore the Supreme Court. Okay, well, yeah, see where that gets you, all right? Without due process of having to actually go through your state. I mean, that was absolutely fucking insufferable. So, the race grift begins, or continues, I suppose, right? While you get it up, it is Dem staffers unionize, citing poor pay and pervasive sexual harassment. This is from last week as well, on July 8th. Congressional Workers Union announced today 8 Democratic offices will be the first to unionize. How interesting that the Democrats weren't unionized and still aren't. Huh. It's their staff, but you don't even know.
But it's still really weird.
Yes. For far too long, congressional staff have dealt with unsafe working conditions. These are staffers in DC, by the way. These are staffers in the Capitol, for the most part, who are working at getting coffees and such. And they're doing other stuff too. They're writing up documents and things. Working as staff for Democrat officials, okay? Unsafe working conditions, unlivable wages, and vast inequities in our workplace. A Monday
January
press
6
release
has really been kicking their ass, hasn't it?
I suppose so. Quote, having a seat at the bargaining table through a union will ensure we have a voice in decisions that impact our workplace. The Congressional Workers Union website says the unionization effort was prompted by, quote, problematic work conditions, including insufficient pay, high turnover, and pervasive sexual harassment in the Democrat Party.
I can believe that last part, though. Like that I can believe.
I can too.
Has anyone else noticed when it comes to politics, these people are really pervy?
Yeah, you might.
What
My
what
reaction
is
to
it
the last
about
part was
politics
because,
that
no,
just
it
give the
was-
average person a hard on?
Yes, my reaction to the last part was always
I mean,
being
how do you feel about it? And
facetious.
when you see politicians, you just get soaked like a waterfall. 'Cause
I suppose
my dick does not turn into a hammer when I see politicians. I mean, it does, but just not for the reasons they want to. It's more
But
to
this is
bludgeon them
interesting.
with, not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is interesting, though. 85 staffers from the offices of, let's see if we can notice some familiar names: Cory Bush, Troy Garcia, Ro Khanna, Andy Levine, Ted Lieu, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Melanie Stansbury moved to join the new union. Oh, so it's their staffers. So their staffers, the people who just went out and got arrested, quote unquote, got detained, largely, are saying they're being mistreated because they don't have a
Sexual
union
harassment.
due to sexual harassment, among other things.
You know what's funny though? Most of those
How
are female.
cute, right? Yes. Most of those are female.
Yeah, perverse sexual harassment from females. Women, you dirty bitches.
I guess so.
Beat
Some
you
of those
to death,
members are multimillionaires. Lieu, a lawyer, real estate agent, so they're talking shit about their own. The Democrats now. Real estate lawyer, investor, has reported 2018 net worth of $3.5 million. That's actually not that much.
By the way, my secret weapon is not the spoon; it's the top hat.
Levin or Levine owns an energy company, has a net worth of almost $3.95 million. Again, these actually aren't super rich people, by the way. It costs like $3 million to buy a home in California.
Yeah, but if if your net worth is almost $4 million and you're getting paid $60,000 a month and you're pissing and moaning about money, I'm like, why are you there?
No, 60 grand is for the staffers' income, not for their income.
Yeah, but that's that's the people who join the union. Yeah, it says their staffers join it, so that's what the staffers get paid.
Yeah. Right. Democrats hemorrhage staff at a rate of 24% higher than Republicans in 2021, The Hill reported. Gee, I wonder why. Is it because they're all insufferable to deal with? Maybe?
Because they're all being felt up because they're sex pests.
That too, maybe. A former chief of staff to Garcia resigned in 2019 following allegations that he laughed in the face of a female staffer after she disclosed that she had been sexually harassed when both were working in Senator Bernie Sanders' 2016 presidential campaign.
Yeah, nothing quite says feel me up like comedy.
I guess Bush and Cortez both claim to have been victims of sexual harassment. Cory Bush, really? Victim of sexual harassment?
No, you
weren't.
No.
Cory Bush says she's been sexually harassed.
Get the fuck out of here.
She says apparently I know Cortez said it. But yeah, apparently Cory Bush as well has said that she's the victim of
No one has
sexual
ever
harassment.
sexually harassed Cory Bush in their entire life.
I don't think so. Levine led the charge to pass the resolution making congressional unionization legal. The resolution passed in May, but a Senate version has yet to pass. Now, House staffers cannot be fired, demoted, or otherwise punished for unionizing. A development that opened the door. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, Cory Bush is not an attractive woman.
No.
No.
No. Now, if you want to make the argument for AOC, I think she's got crazy eyes, but I could at least sit there and understand the argument for AOC being attractive. But
yeah, but that's only because she has a nice figure, but from the neck up, she's just batshit wacky.
They're both batshit wacky, but yeah.
Yeah, but her especially, it's like, Jesus Christ.
So, how cute that the exact same people who have just done this little walk, I'm being arrested for my strong beliefs, are also in trouble for not being left enough for their own staffers.
Yeah, that's not a surprise, though.
Speaking
they
of
wild and crazy people.
Speaking of never extreme enough.
Uh-oh.
Never extreme enough for the left. California School Board plans to open new Planned Parenthood on high school campus.
That's not disgusting. Now,
if Planned Parenthood... Oh, by the way, Jarnegi for 5 says, didn't know feel the burn was the clap. Oof. Apparently, if we're to believe this,
That's really good. That's really good.
It is very good, yes. Thank you, Jarnegi.
Yeah, that's really well done. That's some top comment right there. Yeah,
Um,
okay, you just ruined
so,
Bernie's campaign, by the way.
in
Bernie's planning on running
California,
again, you know that?
won't he be like 100?
He's still more spry than any of the other Democrats. That's what's really
He's
funny.
probably more spry than Biden at this point, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen
He is
have you
100.
seen the average age of
How
like
old is he?
the
Oh, I know.
top people and Democrats? Like Kamala is like 50. Well, Kamala is stupid as shit, but Bernie
Oh,
is
he
like
wouldn't be
80 something.
Yeah,
who
Bernie,
was it?
he'd be 80, he'd be 81 or 82. Yeah.
Who was it? Something Bernstein.
Oh, yeah, they're entire, and it's like we're the
She's
the Democrats.
89.
We're young, hip, and progressive, and we're the party of the future.
No, you're not. You're
Meanwhile, all of
disgusting
them
and
are
old.
ancient. John A. for 10 says, why are women so averse to taking responsibility for themselves? Because then they'd have to take responsibility for themselves, and they'd have to look at themselves in the mirror and realize, I'm an adult, and not a little child baby who has real responsibility, and I can't just put it off on everyone else around me. And that can be uncomfortable if you want to never take responsibility for anything in your life. Yeah, because they don't want to do work.
It's
3 or 12. That's it. Yeah, John A. It's because they know. Yeah, it's because they know that they can put off everything that they do wrong on men.
It's because of men.
And
Yeah.
men facilitate that behavior. It seems insane because they're so like, oh, women power. I can do whatever I want, but also I need to be taken care of in absolutely every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
By the government. Which one is it, ladies? Okay. It's the latter. You want to be taken care of by the government, and just pretend to be autonomous. In California, the Norwalk-La Miranda Unified School District is drawing up plans to install a new Planned Parenthood clinic on a high school campus within the district.
It's just not creepy
Now,
at all.
If you believe what the left says, Planned Parenthood is all they do is provide birth control, right? But if you look at their own protests, they say that Planned Parenthood is about abortion. And if you look at what Planned Parenthood, they'll say Planned Parenthood doesn't do abortions. It's Planned Parenthood does a lot of abortions. Let me bring up the data on that right now, actually. It'll be difficult to find, but I'll be able to find it in a moment. Do you want to continue reading this article while I find how much of Planned Parenthood's money goes to abortions? It starts with the second paragraph there with Breitbart reports. Oh, not keeping up, I see.
No. Hold on. I was modeling something.
Oh, right. No, I know you are.
Yeah. By the way, modeling boobs is really hard.
I would imagine so, yeah.
No, it's because I was doing like a lower mesh version, and because I'm only doing half, they just the amount of, this is gonna sound really weird, and no one is gonna understand what this means, but the amount of vertexes I need for where I had the model to get the boob to pop, I didn't have enough mesh to do that, and I couldn't quite get the roundness. This sounds really weird out loud. To get the I made it a bit more, and it seems to be okay now.
So,
Sorry.
as of according to Human Life International and a Forbes article that I found really quickly, 24% of all abortion costs are paid for by U.S. taxpayers.
That's quite high.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
So a quarter of abortion costs are paid for by the taxpayers at Planned Parenthood.
Again, that's
a lot of it comes from private organizations as well, but it's being covered. A quarter of it's being covered by the state and federal.
Again, that's
my quick assessment.
Shit.
It could be more or less. So, Breitbart reports that the district is eyeing the John Glenn High School, which is located in the district's 90% minority, with 80% of that percentage being Latino. Oh, so they're going to install a Planned Parenthood abortion clinic. Now, it doesn't matter if they say it's not an abortion clinic, in a district that is 80% Latino. Interesting. Yeah, it is. It's disgusting. This is population control. It's population control, and it's I would call it it's genocidal in nature. It's racially genocidal in nature. Just as the fact that they put all the most of the Planned Parenthoods in the United States, at least the traditional ones, are in predominantly black neighborhoods. We have talked about this before, and you and I may disagree. The proposal for the new site specifies that services provided would include diagnosing STDs, prescription and distribution of contraceptives, and the insertion of particular types of contraceptives, such as IUDs. However, the proposal notes that staff at clinic would be allowed to refer high school students to a Planned Parenthood facility off campus for, quote, services not offered at the high school location, which would be abortions. Let's just be real. Okay? Technically, yes. It's supposed to be signed off with an adult.
Yeah,
But
okay,
as we
so-
saw with that case, with the supposed 11-year-old who got pregnant, remember?
Oh yeah, the 10-year-old in Ohio.
A 10-year-old is
Yeah.
that no, if you just have someone sign off, they don't have to actually follow they just refuse to report it. They don't have to. I mean, they do have to by law, but the only reason that got caught was because it became international news. It only got the only reason they got caught is because it became international news. That's why. And that doctor who didn't report it, she was the one who forced it into the international spotlight.
Hold on.
Are you muted, Spoon?
No, I'm not.
Muted. Okay.
I'm not now, no. Sorry, happens. You were saying?
The district proposal claims that it ultimately, under California law, minors have the right to consent to reproductive health services without parental consent or notification.
That's not
There
creepy
you go.
at all.
There's your answer. There's your answer. In response to the announcement, president of the education watchdog group, Parents... Wow, American greatness, you fucked up spelling the word parents right. Parents Defending Education, Nicole Neely, released a statement saying that, quote, families and taxpayers should be horrified at the Norwalk La Miranda USD is considering a partnership with Planned Parenthood. The fact I agree. The fact that the contract specifically notes that under California law, minors have the right to consent to reproductive health services without parental consent or notification is appalling in and of itself, Neely continued. To add insult to injury, there is no way for parents to ever obtain this information, as the contract asserts that all medical records are to be maintained by Planned Parenthood. The Norwalk La Miranda School Board would be ashamed that this contract is even up for consideration. So in other words, you go to... If you're seeking an abortion at your high school or whatever, or even just be given, I'll get into that part in a second, about birth control. You're seeking an abortion at high school, they're going to refer you to another Planned Parenthood, and all those records are sealed. So your parents wouldn't be able to find out that you were referred to another Planned Parenthood, potentially.
Again,
and then have an abortion. Because it's all sealed. The other thing is that Planned Parenthood is not designed or set up to be longitudinal gynecological health care, which means that if you get hormonal birth control through Planned Parenthood, you're not going to see a regular doctor there to be able to figure out if the medicine is working correctly for you, if it's having deleterious effects on your health. That's why you're supposed to see an ongoing physician, either a GP or a OBGYN, to be prescribed hormonal birth control. If they're giving out hormonal birth control, also at this facility, prescription and distribution of contraceptives. Prescription of contraceptives means hormonal birth control, okay? By their own words, it means that this is going to be non-regulated by a physician distribution of hormonal birth control in young teenagers. That is by their best standards, not by the ones they're trying to cover up, which is about the abortion stuff. Fucked.
Isn't that illegal?
What do you mean? Which part?
Don't they need adult supervision to do that kind of stuff?
Not necessarily. Maybe not in California, I guess not.
Again, quite creepy.
And if it's all, behind a wall because it's patient-doctor confidentiality,
yeah.
then I guess they could say no. So
yeah,
your child could be
that's a bit that I find creepy.
Placed on hormonal birth control, given an IUD. An IUD, they said it's for IUDs as well. An IUD is a minorly invasive surgery that has to happen. Again, this is not like
creepy.
And they're talking about doing this without parental supervision, without parental knowledge. to minors.
Yeah, which again, creepy.
And you're exactly right, Riley Robo. When someone says don't tell someone, especially don't tell the parents, that's when I start to go, wait, why? Wait, why? Why can't I tell the parents? Why can't the parents know? It makes me think you're going to do something suspect, okay? Yes, because why else? Why else can the parents not know? Now, I know that the alternative argument is, well, the parents don't want, because they have religious beliefs or et cetera, they don't want the parents. Well, okay. But that should be a decision that a parent, because the children, they can't cognitively make these decisions. They have to discuss it with their parents because their brains aren't developed enough to make these kinds of decisions. My God. Yes, it's the whole thing's fucking abhorrent. But since we were talking about AOC and her freak out, how's New York City doing? Would you mind taking this for a minute while I clear my throat? My shit's starting to plug up. Well, it's a border crisis hits NYC. Adams calls on Biden as shelters overrun with migrants. Gee, I wonder why. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I'm gonna take another allergy pill. Hang on.
Let's see. New York City's homeless shelters are being overrun with asylum seeker migrants as the nation's immigration crisis continues to worsen. Yeah, I wonder why. It's almost like if you don't enforce your fucking borders, this will eventually happen. Wow. Shocker. If we do not need, Adams called on President Biden to send additional federal resources immediately so the city can handle the overflow. I have an idea. How about you send those resources to enforce the freaking law?
Yeah, why not? That would be difficult.
Yeah. Oh, if only you could allocate resources to, I don't know, build a wall. Oh no, we can't do that. We need to spend 50
as they take a
fucking
picture
billion
of them standing in front of its remnants, right?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. We need to send 50 billion for the fucking Ukrainian.
Right.
If we do not get these urgently needed resources, again, see Ukraine, we may struggle to provide the proper level of support our clients deserve. Our clients?
Wait, where are you at? Did you read that article? Oh, yeah, clients? Oh, yeah. No, I scrolled down too far. Sorry. Our clients? What do they mean, our clients?
Yeah, what the hell is that? Clients?
Mayor? What does he mean by client?
Yes, that's what I'm...
Support our clients deserves while facing challenges as we serve both a rapidly growing shelter population and new clients who are... Client implies you're being paid.
Paid? I was going to say, yeah.
Mayor Eric... Wait. Or did Biden say this? Wait. This is the mayor who said this.
Eric Adams?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's a complete git.
And then he calls the illegal migrants clients. And he's calling them... Adams added the migrant burden included families arriving on buses sent by the Texas and Arizona governments, but in other cases, he said, it appears that individuals are being sent by the federal government. We knew about this, but I find this super bizarre that this guy in New York,
I think it's being sent by the federal government.
Eric Adams is the mayor of New York City, and he's calling the migrants clients.
Clients, that's an unusual phrase.
It sure is weird, right? I didn't even catch that before. What the hell? Anyway, continue, man. What the fuck?
This woman's tits are distracting me. At the blue
titty. Look, it's time for news, not for titty. There's always time for titty later.
It's on the news. It's the most trending stupid thing on the freaking page, for heaven's sake.
It's fucking New York Post. I know.
It's at the Bellevue. I don't freaking know. Manchester, Manhattan residents said that they've seen scores of Hispanic migrants arrive at the facility last month. Yeah, of course. Wonder why. One man put the total at 200, saying the shelter was offering them shit-like hygiene products. Well, you're in the country. You're in New York. What the hell do you expect? It's not fucking 5-star. It's a
yeah,
Leicester
I think
city.
they do. I think some of them do expect 5-star.
Lady kids. The last time.
No, I would say it's funny because they are complaining that some of this is that they were being shipped there from Arizona and Texas, which I do think is funny and based. Only because the Democrats are like, no, we can't close the border. You have to let everyone in. And so Texas and Arizona are like, all right, well, we'll put them on a bus and you can take them. You want them so bad. There they are.
I'm actually not a fan of that.
I mean, I'm not a fan of it either. It's kind of a funny meme.
Yeah, like it's a meme. But
it's
that's
not
where it
good
stops.
for the country longitudinally.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
When I first heard the story, I think I did a video on it where I just went.
We talked about it before.
Yeah, because I just thought this, and I think this is the stupidest thing ever. Like, only the right would be dumb enough to think, you know what we should do with migrants, that we should go across the border, send them further inland.
No, you are right.
Dumbasses!
Only the right could be so dumb to do that.
Like, oh great, so let me get this straight. You don't like these people, so what you're going to do is use them as cannon fodder for your memeing material. That's gross. It's also illegal. It's like,
the whole thing is, everything about this is illegal.
God, I hate
by definition.
I hate the right, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Like the establishmentarian right are just so fucking retarded, and the left are even dumber. It's just, like, watching politics is just watching dumb. Who was it? I think it was Ben Shapiro that said politicians are a bunch of morons who run around like chickens with their heads cut off into walls, knock themselves out, and then tax you. Like, yeah, that is
pretty
politicians.
much.
if you see what politicians do, you go, "There's no fucking hell. You can't be this dumb." Who was it? That was it Buckley who said, "I would rather have the first 100 people in the yellow pages govern than the faculty of Harvard." Yeah, I agree.
I'm not familiar with that quote. That's a good one, though.
Yeah, something like that. And see, I said, "Where are you coming from, amigo?" Jesus fucking Christ. Sounds like Scarface. Come here.
They say Venezuela.
There. Yeah, they really don't speak English that much. Yeah, I fucking wonder why. Because they come from Venezuela.
Yeah.
She had a room with 3 migrants saying, "I cannot understand them. It's just, how are you doing? That's it." Why the hell are you in the country then? If you can't speak English, what the fucking hell are you doing here?
I don't know why you'd be moving to America right now. I don't know if you've noticed, but shit's going kind of tits up.
Yeah. If it's bad in America,
it's because they're being, at this point, intentionally imported. From what I can tell, they're not just coming across the border; they are being imported for. And the left will tell you this, is that it's demographic change. They think that people from South America will vote for them because they promise them free stuff. And the thing is, I don't know. They've been pulling this move for years, for decades. And I don't know how accurate it is anymore. I'm not saying I want illegal migrants in this country, by the way, because they're more likely to be criminals because they're not documented. And I'm not saying that they're more likely to be criminals because they're from South America or anything. I'm saying they're more likely to be criminals because they can run away and not be caught. You know what I mean? Because they're not documented.
I would say they're more likely to be criminals.
And they've already committed a crime by coming over here illegally. But
yeah, there we go.
You're going to have who's going to, if they do commit a crime, how are they going to get in trouble? They've got a fake name. They have no ID. What are they going to do? Put them on a bus and try to send them back? Well, they end up coming back. It's been a problem for 30 fucking years, and everyone's well aware of it. So I'm not in favor of that. But I would say if these people actually want to come to the United States in earnest and live here, well, they're Catholic Christians who are not on board, whatever their race is or their ethnicity is, who are not on board with transgender ideology, yes, and anti-theist fucking Satan worship. So I don't know why the left is banking on these people so much.
Yeah,
because it's only the criminals who are going to be on your side. It's literally only the criminals who would be on your side. And I don't think that's who you want to bank on either.
No. So if we can take care of the homeless here, how can we take care of the migrants? You fume, they get all the resources in the world, but the ones who are here and homeless seem like they're forgotten about. Well, yeah, because you already have their votes. It's all about,
and because
that's all it is.
At least homeless people are United States citizens. If you're homeless and illegal, there's no way, there's no real procedural way to help you.
Again, what's with the tits everywhere?
It's neuropose. A resident who gave his name as Derek P. and said he was a 70-year-old Vietnam War veteran called the situation a sad state of affairs. "I've slept in jungles, I've slept in foxholes, but I won't sleep on the streets of the United States of America," he said. Wow,
I can't really blame him.
Yeah, you gotta take care of home first. This is our home first. I feel for the migrants, but you gotta take care of home first. Adams became the second big city mayor in recent days to fault the federal government for the influx of migrants into local homeless shelters. Oh, in New York City. But you wouldn't give a shit if it was in San Antonio, now would you?
Well, no, of course not.
You care. Were the ones because it's DC and New York. Because for all of your progressive liberal policies, you don't actually want to take in migrants, do you?
Well, no, of course not.
Exactly. It's this hypocrisy on full fucking display. Full display.
You say that like you're surprised.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it's. I'm saying it with. I'm trying to put a gravitas spin on it. Of look at just. I know everybody here has probably seen it before. We all know what we're looking at, but it's still important to point this shit out and be like, look at these dickheads, and look how hypocritical they are.
This is like the way you said that.
It just fucking pisses me off, man.
Look at these dickheads.
Well, I think that's the quick and dirty of the. This is a long article, so I didn't think we'd go through all of it. We got lots of stuff. Shall we talk about the rainbow redo? And by that I mean I would like to talk about that Lives a TikTok article because.
Oh god, yeah, this is really funny.
So we've been going for an hour and a half. I think both Spoon and I have been waiting to talk about this article. He sent it to me today or yesterday. It's
I think
hilarious. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Lesbian bar shuts down.
Props to Lives a TikTok for doing a Substack, by the way.
Yes, and yeah, props to them for doing the Substack. Why don't you take this one? You sent it to me. Why don't you take this one?
Yeah, because it's really funny. Lesbian bar shuts down 1 week after opening because they weren't woke enough. I mean, we don't even need to. You don't even need to read the story like that. The headline will probably just tell you. Like everything that you think is probably true.
Everything you think is going to happen in this article is going to happen, and then some.
Yeah.
That's why it's. Read it. It was just every sentence was another like little just sprinkle of joy.
Yeah.
Not like in terms of me actually being happy that this shit is happening, but just of the irony.
Yeah. Let's see. Doc Marie's lesbian bar is a lesbian bar that opened up on July the 1st of this year with the hope of bringing more inclusivity to the city of Portland. Really, Portland, is that what you need?
Portland needs a lot more inclusivity.
Yeah. After the last 3 years of the place being set on fire and, the communist.
It's not like Portland is the gayest city in the United States. It needs more inclusivity.
Well, I mean, that's probably why there's a gay bar there. It's really gay.
But it needs more. Yes. I demand it. I tell you.
But that doesn't even make any sense to me. Okay, let me get this straight. In order for you to get more inclusivity, you are going to cater a bar to someone's sexual exclusivity.
Yes. But wait, we'll get into why sexual exclusivity is not okay.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's part of the problem with this lesbian bar. It's too exclusive. I know they say it's inclusive, but actually it's too exclusive.
Okay.
They talk about it in the article why this bar is too exclusive. Yeah, this is a really white pilling article, I will say, because it is. Yeah, as Ardent Party has said, this is a white pilled article. This hopefully brings some joy to your day. Only because watch them purity spiral out of fucking control.
Yeah, it's great. Sorry. Oh, baby oven.
But
this 1 week after their grand opening, they were forced to shut down because of complaints that the bar was not a safe space. It's a fucking bar, not a crash, you dipshit.
1 week.
What would you expect? Why does a bar need to be a safe space? It's bar.
A bar is where you go to get drunk. Inherently, it's not super safe.
Yes.
You go there to get fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Especially when there's a bunch of dykes over there. In terms of safe space,
like, if somebody's being a creep to you, I've been to a whole lot of bars in my life.
I mean, it's a gay bar, so...
I've been to plenty of gay bars in my life, actually, yes. And if somebody was being a creep to me or one of my... Yes. If someone's being a creep to one of my friends, you want to know what a safe space is? It's when the bartender goes, okay, you need to go. All right? You're being a creep. You're being weird. Both men and women, by the way. I've seen it happen. I don't think you can do that shit anymore. I mean, that would be the thing. Like, I guarantee, when I was in college, for example, there's a bar I went to all the time. And one time, I was at this bar. I knew the bartender. It was literally the person was my friend. I knew outside of going to the bar. And there was somebody there who was hitting on me one time, and they were told just to leave because they were being obnoxious. Yay. It was a man. But today, if that had happened, what if they said, I'm transgender, non-binary, how dare you? Like, I pulled an Ezra Miller. Well, then they pull out their phone and be like, this bartender is being transphobic, I'm transgender, non-binary, they're telling me to leave the bar because I would be transphobic. Like that, these people have totally found a way to they have reformulated all of society around their stupid bullshit of being the ultimate victim class. So they can really, at this point, as again, Ezra Miller is a prime example of, bully, harass, and just be insufferable to other people. And as long as you claim a victimized identity, then you can do whatever the hell you want to actually victimize other human beings. That's how bad shit is, you know? Because at this point, like, yeah, again, if it happened today and someone was actually being a weirdo creep to me at the bar, and I said, leave me alone, you're being a creep, or the bartender said, could you leave her alone, you're being a creep, I'm transgender, non-binary, that's all you have to do. Even if you're not, doesn't matter. That's all you have to do. It's a get out of jail, literally get out of jail, but get out of being a weirdo creep free card. And I find that insane. I don't know, what do you think?
I think therefore I am. So, like, I don't really have much to say on this topic because, mainly because, well, I'm a guy. We don't really have this problem.
Yeah, but okay. So, all right. So you're at a bar. You're sitting at the bar. A 6'6", fat, overweight person with a 5 o'clock shadow, wearing a dress and a wig, walks up to you and says, "Hey, you look pretty cute for a bald guy," or whatever.
Thanks for that. Asshole. What a backhanded compliment, you asshole.
I know. I had to find some way to throw some shit in, and then okay. So just here's let's.
I like the way you say that because that handicap.
We'll do a little role play. I'm like, hey, how's it going? You look pretty cute. You mind if I buy you a drink, right? And then how do you respond, right?
With a Freud.
Just by yours. Are you gonna buy me a drink?
Sure, why not?
You're not gonna share a drink? You're gonna buy me a drink? All right.
Fuck no.
You would? You would do that? You would buy a drink for someone who approached you like that?
Sure, why not?
I mean, I guess so. I feel like you're messing up my scenario because
that's
would you really?
That's because you insulted my hair, so screw you.
I knew. I wasn't insulting you. I wasn't insulting. Yeah, you got a pretty mouth. You got a pretty mouth.
You got a pretty mouth on your bone.
And all right, you want to go back to my place?
Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
You know, wink, wink, right?
Yeah, no, I don't.
They've got. Wow, you're being so transphobic right now. I'm gonna pull up my phone. I'm gonna pull up my phone and take a TikTok video. And I'm being harassed, and I'm gonna fucking put you on blast. Like that's what you. I'm not saying that everybody does this, by the way. It's mostly crazy people. But crazy people are drawn into this environment that protects them and encourages their crazy behavior. Not all LGBTQ people are crazy, but their protected status encourages nuttiness and protects it. So then, okay, so this person then pulls out their phone, takes a video of you, and spams your fucking face all over the fucking internet, all over Twitter. And for a lot of people, they will lose their jobs over that shit. This person's being transphobic. They didn't respect my pronoun, et cetera, et cetera. And there's nothing you can do to fight back against it. So I can understand why people don't want to have to deal with these fucking lunatics. But anyway, you can't say no to them. They even write articles. They even write articles about how it's transphobic to just say no. I thought that we were allowed to say that. I thought we were allowed to say no is no, not to a transgender, non-binary, etc. You know, you can't say no to that person, or else you're being a bigot. This is the horrible reality that they've created for themselves. Anywho, do you want to continue the TikTok article or live the TikTok article? I know. A little bit, just a little bit. Do you want to continue the article? Hey, we cleared our throat in unison. What does it mean? Mhm. Well, I don't even having grown up in that, like, I never really understood what queer is supposed to mean. It's like, I'm gay, but not entirely. I'm a little gay, and
No.
it's funny that I don't know if do you know about how the LGBTQIAs hate the bees? Do you know about that?
Because it's not really an exclusive thing now. Or?
It has been a case for decades now that the LGBTQ, etc., do not like the bis because they think that bisexuals
Or greedy by
can
any
just
chance?
pick or greed. No, it's not that they're greedy. No, because like queers, it's like, I'll have sex with anybody, right? But of any gender. But the bis who are like, they just don't like bisexual people. If you want to see some vitriol from the queer community, the LGBTQIAs, just go look at what they think about bisexuals. They hate us, and they can totally get away with saying it. A lot of it is, oh, this person's bisexual, but they're married to a man, to the person of the opposite gender, opposite sex. It's like, yeah, it doesn't mean I still don't find women attractive, and they just hate it. You're not really gay, and then they get mad that like you can, you're supposed to be part of their community, but they want to expel you from the community, right? Of, oh no, you're not allowed to be. It's bizarre, Spoon. Like, I'd have to look into it again and bring up examples, but it's so bizarre. And I guarantee, guys, if you look up just like bisexual hate or bisexual bigotry on YouTube or anywhere, you'll find countless examples. Because it's well known at this point. I think even Blair made a video about it. Maybe it wasn't Blair. I can't remember. There's a bunch of videos on just the LGBTQ people hate the bisexuals because they think that we quote unquote pass.
How's why? I don't get why that's a big deal.
Well, because we're traitors.
To what?
To their ideology.
How?
Because most bisexual people, and this is true as far as I understand about the data, is that most bisexual people do end up in straight relationships, but not all. So basically, like, you're only allowed to be accepted as part of this community, of which the B is the third letter in it, if you end up actually being gay. And no, you're gay, you're bisexual no matter what, but if you end up in a long-term gay relationship, if as a bisexual person, which means that you like both, and you end up in a long-term heterosexual relationship, then you were never really bi. It was all made up and fake. Dude, look into this. It's nuts. The queer community hates bisexuals. And if you want to see some like death threat shit all over the place, they hate bisexuals. It's crazy. If you guys have never seen it, just look into how much the Rainbow Coalition hates bisexuals. It is not like dislikes them a little bit, it is actively hates them. Of course it doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. What? No, if you were a guy too, if you were a man who was bisexual and then you married a woman, they'd be like, "You faker! How dare you? You blah blah blah." That's a They'll still do the same shit. It is more for women though, I would say. But yeah. Patricia just brought up that bisexual implies only two sexes. That is true. They will also. That's why some people will say pansexual. And then 3 of 12 said they think most bisexuals are lying about being bisexual for clout. That shit didn't exist even 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like maybe 5-10 years ago, it was, you could say you were bisexual for clout. I guess, but I mean, not when I was coming up. I don't know. It wasn't. You didn't get clout for that. And even when I was growing up, it was like, oh, they'll say things like, You're just a lesbian. You're a lesbian. You're afraid. You're afraid to come out of the closet all the way because you're trying to like meet some kind of expectation. And then the opposite is, oh, yes, it was Shoe on Head. Deal Bird. It was Shoe on Head made a video about it recently. It was Shoe on Head who did the video. I thought it was somebody else, but yeah, it was Shoe. I highly recommend Shoe's video on it because it was really good. And so yeah, you're left between a dichotomy of if you either you're not gay enough because you're stuck in the closet a little bit, or you're pretending and you're just doing it as of a fad or a phase. It's completely fucking insane. Being bi for clout in the was a 90s thing? Oh, maybe, I don't know. I grew up in the 90s, so maybe it was. I like women and men. I'm physically attracted to women and men, but my husband is a man and I'm happy and I don't want to be with anyone else now. So like the bisexuality doesn't enter into it. It doesn't mean, I can still find women attractive. That's the crazy thing, right? If you show me a picture of a pretty lady, I'll be like, yeah, well, she's hot. And I can find her attractive, but I'm married. So I'm like, I don't have any fucking interest anymore on that. I can still say that it's hot, but I'm not. It's a pointless thing. Let's get back into the article. I just watch Shoe's video. She did a video I think about a couple weeks ago, about the hatred of bisexual people. I highly suggest checking out that video. It was illuminating, and only illuminating because I've seen that shit my whole fucking life, and it was like, thank you for bringing it up, Shoe.
Sorry, there we go.
Because they can never be pleased.
Yeah, but then why
you can never please these people.
Yeah, but then why the hell are you making the bar for them in the fucking first place if they just end up shutting it down? That makes no sense.
I mean, I don't know. Well, I guess because okay, keep reading the article if you didn't, because the employees revolted. That's why.
Yeah, that's why it's funny. Let's see. The crowd opening day was huge. One woman said, I just picture fat woman. One woman said that the line for entry on opening night was wrapped around the block with literally 200 lesbians waiting to get in. And that was the most amount of gays that I've ever seen in the last 200 days. With the excitement,
not in Portland. That's just Sunday night in Portland.
Yeah, but the excitement about a new progressive hangout dissipated quickly within days. No one else was here. The only people who complained about that were progressives.
Exactly. They destroyed their own creation made explicitly for them.
Yes. Why? I don't get. Whatever.
Why? Because of progressive stack, right? Is that you understand? Of course, we all know this, that the progressive left leaning ideology is based entirely around victimhood. It's called perpetual in-group victimhood orientation, or PIVO. What PIVO means is that well, that's just what it is. That's what it is. PIVO.
No, it's a funny name.
That my in-group is always a victim all the time, forever and ever and ever, and I deserve sympathy and things, beneficial. Fucking, I hate motorcycles. I deserve benefits and all kinds of other stuff because of my victim status. I just hate when they drive by, because they're always so loud. I deserve all these things, and the way that perceived in-group victimhood orientation. So my in-group is more victimized than yours, and it spirals out of control in that. Well, I'm part of the LGBTQIA. Okay, so I'm a victim. This is my perceived victimized in-group. And someone says, okay, well, I'm LGBTQIA and I have autism. Now this is my perceived in-group, and so on and so on and so on. And each single one thinks that it's and professes that it is being oppressed by all other groups, and they all just end up hating each other, and it spirals out of control. So yeah, you can't please those people because it's always about. If you look at the research on perceived in-group victimhood orientation, apologies don't work. When you even tell them, now the research was mostly done on Palestine and Israel conflict, and you're like, okay, so what if everyone? And they ask them like things like the participants in these studies. It's like, okay, so what if not just the entire state of Israel, but like what if every Israeli person like made a giant apology to the Palestinian people, and they gave you a bunch of money? They're like, no, I don't care. No, it's more worth. No, because being a victim is worth more to people who are stuck in this mindset. And it's not every Palestinian, right? It's people who have this perpetual in-group or perceived in-group victimhood orientation status, who they do not want to get along. They do not want to be equal. They want their victimhood status. It's part of their sense of identity. And that's the Rainbow Coalition right there. Perceived in-group victimhood orientation.
This is like a miserable existence.
Yes, it is.
I
mean, how can you have a friend? How could you have a friend under those circumstances? Because you're always going to be comparing yourself and your victimhood status to your friend's victimhood status. Yeah, and I mean, it would have to be, because again, how could you possibly have a friend? Because even if they have, you would be competing with your friend over the victimhood status, right? Of which of us. I think it sounds fucking well. Look at their mental health. It's in the trash can. Why do you think they can't? They've got this perpetual in-group victimhood. I keep saying perceived. It's perpetual in-group victimhood orientation. And I should be clear, it's not perceived. It is perceived. That is correct. It is a perceived victimhood orientation, but it is perpetual in terms of the term. Perpetual in-group victimhood orientation, meaning it never goes away. There is nothing you can do to ameliorate or mitigate the victimhood orientation. If you give people things, if you provide them with recompense, there's nothing you can do. It is perpetual in-group victimhood orientation. And that's the entire LGBTQIA, not all of them, but there's elements within the society, within that community, that absolutely follows the exact same paradigm as the data that we see in the Israel-Palestine conflict with the PIVO data. I've been shocked that no one's done it. I've been shocked. I mean, the PIVO instrument's only like maybe 3 years old. I've been shocked no one's done it with LGBTQ and with race relations in the U.S. That instrument is rife to be used. Because it's been massively ratified as being valid within the Israel-Palestine conflict. Anyway, sorry if you don't mind continuing with the article. Because you get social status. Yeah.
It's a goal that'll make you happy, but this is just.
Well, it's a minor dopaminergic hit. When they get a little bit of validation, it gets the little bit of I think you're muted again.
No, I'm not.
Okay. It gets you a little bit every time you get some kind of small validation, it gets you a small dopamine hit. Everyone says you're muted.
I'm not muted, you.
Okay, no one could hear you for a minute. All right. You get a minor. All right, you get a minor dopaminergic hit, but that little bit of dopamine. And here's another thing that we know about dopaminergic processing, right? The more little dopamine that you get from social situations, like minor little dopamine hits, not longitudinal, external, held oxytocin, skin-to-skin contact with somebody that you are in love with, long-term healthy relationship status, that kind of stuff that produces long-term healthy mental well-being, but instead short-term dopaminergic hits like what you get via social media interactions. Well, it feels really nice for like 5 seconds, and they keep themselves elevated emotionally based on these short bursts of dopamine. Which, by the way, the problem with that makes it even worse is that every time you do that kind of short burst of dopaminergic excess, is that the next time it happens, it requires more and more and more because you usually are overloading and fucking up your dopamine receptors. They require more and more and more dopamine to maintain any kind of healthy status without having the longitudinal, healthy, social psychological systems in place to maintain healthy psychology. Does that make sense, I guess? They don't have the long-term and longitude stuff in place, but they get these little hits. But the more hits you get, the less. It's just like doing drugs. The less each hit, means. The less.
Now it's in the workplace. Oh my god, I love the TikToks. This is some weird shit.
Oh yeah, sorry. Continue with the article if you don't mind.
Okay, so apparently this is what AOC said. No faking here.
Oh.
Putting your hands behind your back is the best practice while being detained, handcuffed or not, to avoid escalating charges like resisting arrest.
Okay. Why did you and Ilhan Omar do the exact same thing? You both put your hands behind your back and then both raise your fist in time for a photo op. I don't think so. You can lie as much as you want to other people and probably morons will fucking believe you, but you can't lie to me. I don't believe that shit.
I know with sense, because everyone knows it's a bunch of crap.
Yeah, I don't believe that shit.
Fucking hell. Absolutely crazy freaking people.
Yeah.
Yes, but the excitement, how was I? Oh my god. But the excitement about a new progressive hangar dissipated quickly. Within days, Doc Marie's found itself on the receiving end of accusations of not being inclusive enough for trans people and people of color. Like, yeah, because that's the marginalized group. That is the thing that you have a go at. Fucking Christ's sakes. Despite mask mandates being lifted in Poland, patrons accuse the bar of not implementing enough COVID safety measures.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. I have 2 words for you. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. You don't need to be there then. It's very simple. I say, oh my goodness, this bar is not catering to me, but it's catering it to everyone else who does not have the proclivities that you do when it comes to your creepy health requirements. So get fucked. Fuck off. All right. The monarchy question is not a lie. Democracy is gay. Sorry, I just see in the chat. If I see anyone bashing monarchy, I'll have a go at you, because democracy is faggy. Despite mask mandates being lifted in Poland, patrons accused of not implementing enough COVID-19 safety measures. Patrons also claimed that Doc Marie's had culturally appropriated art on the walls.
Oh no! Unfortunately, the TikTok video has been removed of the culturally appropriative art, where she. Oh no, I would have loved to have seen it, where she attended the grand opening and break down the accusations against the bar.
Okay, I have a question.
Don't yawn; it's socially contagious.
That's my comeback. Yeah, okay. The last part there with the art, I have a question. How does that work in America? Seriously, like, you want people to come across your border like a horde of third world escapees, presumably to get something from your country that the places that they're fleeing from don't have. Okay, so let me get this straight. If you participate or engage in their culture, you're the offender of cultural appropriation, whatever the fuck that means. But if they participate with anything distinctly American, then they're aiding in white supremacy.
Is that these people, they get all mad about, you're culturally appropriating XYZ culture, and if it turns out that the person who made the art is from that culture, well, aren't you a dope? Because again, none of this has anything to do with actually caring at all. It's about being perceived as caring. We have to again go back to the moral foundations theory and look at this as perceived harm versus care. That what the left is concerned with in terms of their moral foundations are harm, care, fairness. And that's it. Harm, care, and fairness. So it does. You can be as immoral as you want, but as long as you're being seen as being fair and caring about others, nothing else really matters.
So seen as fair is the point there.
It's about being seen as, right? So even if you're being like, take down this, I'm gonna put black paint all over this cultural appropriative art, and it turns out that it was drawn by a Native American person, they'd be like, well, whoops, I guess, my bad, and just walk off. I mean, I guess they get canceled too, maybe, if anyone can find them. But they're usually dressed all in black with their faces covered, right? When they do that kind of shit, you know?
Let me see.
It's insane.
Let's see. Employees of Doc Marie's created an Instagram.
Oh, we gotta read their fucking manifesto.
Oh, God, I say it. They claim that the owners weren't proactive enough in creating a safe space and accuse the owners of racism. Oh, my God. I know.
1 week. 1 week.
Yeah, this is a week.
1 week this place had been open.
Yeah. Eventually, the employees demanded the owners relinquish ownership of the bar and hand the business to them. They talk about a hostile takeover.
Yep. I know.
The owners were given a 24-hour deadline to hit the ridiculous demands. What the fuck? Or ludicrous, my apologies. Just 5 days after opening the bar announced on July the 6th that they had to close temporarily in order to address
Wait,
the
where's
cries.
they had to relinquish ownership? Missed that part.
Yeah, the owners were given 24-hour deadline to adhere to the ludicrous demands.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was looking at their stupid manifesto of we, the Marie Equi Workers Collective, again, had to have existed for a week.
This is what you get if you impose democracy, by the way, in the workplace.
Yeah, sorry, continue.
Gay as shit. Surrendering to the woke mob doesn't appear to be working out in Dr. Marie's favor. The bar remains closed with no public plans to reopen. Okay, so it's not temporarily closed, it's closed indefinitely.
By the
Well
way,
done.
to open a place like this, they probably had to invest a lot of money. Whoever owns it, you know?
Monarchy's not stinky, you bunch of bastards. Those who don't like monarchy, it's because you're gay.
Don't get involved in a fight. Okay.
I will get
so,
multiplied. I must defend monarchy.
Right.
It is our duty as monarchists to defend the monarchy.
That is true. But in the first place,
And it's also our duty to diminish
would you mind
democracy
also,
as
if we discuss this hilarious, how come Whitey Dems won't vote for black people? Whitey is being evil once again.
Oh yeah, this was pretty funny actually.
Why are Democratic billionaires backing white candidates over better candidates of color? From Steve Phillips of The Guardian.
Yeah, because the candidates of color so far have proven just so efficient.
Well, here's the
With
thing:
Ilhan
you should just
Omar
vote for
and
them because they're
AOC.
black. That's the implicit message here, right? You should vote for them because they're black.
We tried that in South
Duh.
Africa. It hasn't worked out very well.
Yeah, it's not worked out super great there. With white billionaire friends like these, progressives and Democrats are likely to lose political power and also set back the cause of racial justice in this country. So in other words, if you don't vote for us, no matter what the fuck crazy shit we say or do, you're a racist and you ruin civil rights.
Boone said duty. I didn't say duty. I will say now though.
Duty.
Half-gay monarchy
The
spirit. Yeah,
2022
well done. By the way,
Democratic
what does
primaries.
what does that mean?
Duty is in D-U-T-Y.
No, not that.
Oh.
What that means? Like racial justice. What the fuck does that mean?
It is a nebulous term.
Okay, so it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, of course, like a lot of Democrat
fucking
left-leaning
ketchup, just
buzzwords,
throw
it doesn't
in
mean
fucking everything.
racial justice means in the United States what it tends to mean is black people get whatever the fuck they want, and everything is whitey's fault if they don't. So
yeah,
I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just saying like that's what that term has come to mean. The 2022 Democratic primaries have seen a surge of white billionaires, ostensibly Democrats, throwing their weight and their money around to try and boost the fortunes of hand-picked, underqualified white men. Okay, running against candidates of color, who are all very qualified, I'm sure.
yeah.
They are doing this despite the candidates of color often being more experienced and better suited to win and govern in periods of fractious racial conflict where democracy itself is under ferocious attack. I really want to get a bell so that whenever they use the word democracy in a way that's inappropriate, I can like ring it. I really do. With white billionaire friends like these, progressives and Democrats are likely to lose political power and also set back the cause of racial justice in this country. It's because the Democrats aren't popular because you're shitting up the country. You're destroying the country. Not only is it a bad look and a continuation of institutional racism in a party that is nearly half people of color. Half? Is the Democrat Party half people of color? They're 13% of the U.S. population. I guess. Yeah, what? Yeah, I don't understand. I was trying to like parse that through. But most immediately, it's bad electoral politics. Yeah, it is. For you. Only because you're going to lose. Most of these billionaires and billionaire-backed politicians are weaker candidates than the persons of color they are trying to block. Like who, by the way? In Oregon's 6th congressional district primary, 2 white billionaire-backed super PACs spent more than $11 million trying to help Carrick Flynn, an inexperienced white academic from Georgetown, meaning she went to Georgetown. Carrick or him, he went to Georgetown. I don't know who this guy is.
A big guy
Or lady. I don't want to assume their gender.
Carrick's probably a dude.
Again, you don't know. It's a Democrat. You have no idea. Carrick Flynn, an inexperienced from Georgetown, who was running against Andrea Salinas, a far more experienced Latina state legislator in the most heavily Latino district in Oregon. So he's probably going to lose. Whatever. They can put all the money they want into it. In Pennsylvania, that's how democracy works. By the way, idiot. That's how democracy works.
No, when
I thought you liked that.
No, when they said that it's an experienced candidate, Joe Biden was experienced. He's a fucking moron. So experience doesn't count for shit in politics.
And Trump, who had no experience in politics,
yeah, and was a better candidate. So what does that tell you?
But guess what? I was right. Salinas, oh my god, see what I don't like. Hang on.
It sounds really, really faggy.
You see why I don't like those things. So even though they're complaining here, Salinas survived the onslaught and won. So even though the Democrats gave $11 million to a white guy, the Latina still won. So what are you bitching about? In Pennsylvania, another super PAC flush with millions of dollars from white billionaires spent $3 million trying to defeat Summer Lee, a progressive black female state legislator. Lee managed to withstand the attacks, defeating her opponent with 1,000 votes. Okay, so what's the fucking issue? They're just bitching for the point of fucking bitching is what it is. And they're so dedicated to identity politics that even when they win through id poll from their own party, by the way, it's never enough. It's never enough. Like, I don't think there's any more reason to go through this entire article. Just, I mean, we could, but like, it's annoying me because there's no evidence for what you're stating is the problem. You're saying here's a problem here is that people aren't voting for black people. White Democratic billionaires are ruining the chances for black and non-white candidates. Except it didn't work. Except it didn't work out that way. Now did it? So you lied.
Wait, these people.
Oh, I know. So we've got a couple places we could go from here. In my Rainbow Redux redo section, I also have Jesse Lee Peterson was accused of being gay, and then all of a sudden, Pink News does not like him because even though they claiming he's gay, but then they don't like him for being gay. Right. Even if he is, who cares? Right. I think we should maybe cover the military meltdown. Are you aware of this? Yeah. So things are not going great for the U.S. military. Let's cover this real quick. What a shock. Every branch of the military is struggling to make its 2022 recruitment goals. I have to fucking turn my ad block off. Oh, I know. Officials say, with a record low number of Americans eligible to serve, and few of those willing to do it, this is the year we question the sustainability of the all-volunteer force, said an expert. So they're bringing back the draft, at least on paper. They're considering it. Just letting you guys know, you've muted yourself again, Spoon.
There we go.
Stop muting yourself.
It's because the control button on the camera.
Every branch of the U.S. military is struggling to meet its fiscal year 2022 recruiting goals, says multiple U.S. military and defense officials, and numbers obtained by NBC News show both a record low percentage of young Americans eligible to serve and an even tinier fraction willing to consider it. The officials said the Pentagon's top leaders are now scrambling for ways to find new recruits to fill out the ranks of the all-volunteer force. Defense Secretary Lord Austin... Wait, what do you mean?
No, like the military has gone gay.
Yes, we'll get into that for a moment. In just a moment here. Even though, yeah, it's like, oh, we're going to make it all, you can, ladies, get pregnant and put on your pregnancy flight suit and pull fucking 16 Gs. That's fine. Meanwhile, the Chinese military has no problem. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks consider the shortfalls a serious issue, said the officials, and have been meeting on it frequently with other leaders. This is the start of a long drought for military recruiting, said retired Lieutenant General Thomas Svoer of the Heritage Foundation, a think tank. He said the military has not had such a hard time recruiting signing recruits since 1973, the year the U.S. left Vietnam and the draft officially ended.
Wow, I wonder why.
Gee, well, why? Why would anyone want to fight for the United States?
Because it's gay.
No one wants to fight for this country. This country doesn't want to fight for you. This country hates you.
Yeah.
Why would a young white male want to sign up for the U.S. military that actively says that they hate him and the country hates him?
Yeah.
And everything about his birth is wrong. Yeah. An Internal Defense Department survey obtained by NBC News found that only 9% of young Americans eligible to serve in the military had any inclination to do so, the lowest number since 2007. The survey sheds light on how both Americans view the military and the growing civilian-military divide may be factors in slumping recruitment, and how public attitudes could cause recruiting struggles for years to come. Why do you think that is? You said you have talked so much shit about the military. You've said that they're all conservatives. You totally control the military, of course, being in power as the president, being a Democrat. But, but it's interesting to notice this, right? Only 9% want to serve. But more than half who answered the survey think they would have emotional or psychological problems, 57%. Nearly half think they would have physical problems. Those numbers don't align, if you're not noticing. I'll update it. 60% of young people who answer the survey said that they might have emotional or psychological problems, and about half said that they would have physical problems after serving. Yet only 9 who are eligible would be willing to do so. Those numbers do not align, right? You're talking about 60% versus 9%. What's going on with the other percentage? There's quite a few missing in that lineup, right? They think they're going to be physically or emotionally broken after serving. Actually, no, that's not what your data show. A lot of them think that, but not all of them. So something else is going on. It's not because they think they're going to be broken. That's not why. Among Americans surveyed by the Pentagon who were in the target age range for recruiting, only 13% had parents who had served in the military, down from 40% in 1995. An expert on military personnel policy says that middle class parents, including those who are newly middle class, often encourage their kids to go to college before selecting a career, which hurts recruiting for enlisted personnel. We never had heard this complaint before, by the way. Do you know why? Because you know how young people pay for fucking college? Yep. So don't give me those bullshit data. You can't lie to me. You can't bullshit me. You can bullshit other people, NBC News, but you can't bullshit me. Overall confidence in the US government institutions is decreasing. Gee, I wonder why. Yes. In 2021, the annual Reagan National Defense Survey conducted by the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute found that just 45% of Americans had a great deal of trust and confidence in the military, down 25 points since 2018. What changed over that time period? Oh, weird, huh? The trend will most likely continue as overall military shrinks and familiarity with service keeps dropping, says officials. In 2021, an Army study found that 75% of Americans aged 16 to 28 knew little to know about the Army. The recruiting crisis is like a slow-moving wave coming at us, said one senior defense official involved in recruiting and personnel issues. As the military has gotten smaller and the public has gotten less and less familiar with those in uniform, it has grown, and COVID accelerated it. It's always COVID's fault, right? Because it's just a tool. The Army has met, as of this year, 40% of its enlisted recruiting mission for 2022, with just over 3 months left in the fiscal year, which ends in September, the final quarter of the summer, which is typically when services recruit the most candidates following high school graduation. Space Force will also likely make its goal. So Space Force is on track to make its goals, recruiting goals, but no other branch of the military. Yeah, why would that be? Oh, remember how they blamed COVID? I don't know. Could it have something to something to do with this? That Biden prepares to purge 27.5% of the military that's not fully vaccinated as of today? Because they're not vaccinated. Okay, so it doesn't matter. How dare you? How dare you not follow the fucking rules? I know, me neither, but, you know. Yeah. So we're already having a problem with recruiting, right? New people into the military, mostly the army, and now Biden's going to cut a third of them. Well, it's a fourth, but you know. Right, so we're having problems with recruiting. So Biden's going to cut nearly a third of of everyone in the military because they're not fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah. Because that's what you need during this time.
Obviously. So I would say that would be maybe a good time to move into the science portion of the show.
There's a science portion of the show?
Well, it has to do with COVID. I do have some stuff on the heat wave. How are you dealing with the heat wave, by the way?
I'm South African.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't bother me as much either. So, from the south. Not from the south of Africa, but yeah.
That's basically what I have to say on that one. It's like, how are you coping with the heat, you man of Africa? I'm from Africa. That's how I'm coping with it. Not a cope. It's warm. It's great.
Oh, it's a bit hot even for me, but
I don't mind it.
Don't remember this. I'm just gonna read the abstract here. There's a whole editor argument here, but this is from Yamamoto, 2022, published in June 5th. That's published in the National. This is the National Library of Medicine. Okay, this is an official publication. Susan, this is published in a medical journal. Okay, Susan. I'm just going to read the abstract. Recently, The Lancet published a study on the effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccines and the waning immunity with time. The study showed that immune function among vaccinated individuals 8 months after the administration of 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine was lower than that among unvaccinated individuals. According to... Yep.
We're so shocked.
I know. According to European Medicines Agency recommendations, frequent COVID-19 booster shots could adversely affect the immune response and may not be feasible. The decrease in immunity can be caused by several factors, such as N1 methylpseudoridine, the spike protein, lipid nanoparticles, antibody-dependent enhancement, and original antigenic stimulus. These clinical alterations may explain the association reports between COVID-19 vaccination and shingles. As a safety measure, further booster vaccinations should be discontinued. In addition, the date of vaccination should be recorded in medical records of patients. Several practical measures to prevent a decrease in immunity have been reported. These include limiting the use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Do you know what a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug is, Spoon?
I do not.
It's called an NSAID, is the acronym. It's aspirin. It's paracetamol.
Really?
So to not have such a bad time, you should not take paracetamol or acetaminophen. To maintain deep body temperature, appropriate use of antibiotics, smoking cessation, not doing that, stress control, and limiting the use of lipid emulsions, including propofol, which may cause perioperative immunosuppression. In conclusion, COVID-19 vaccination is a major risk factor for infections in critically ill patients. End quote.
Yeah, I think that might be a problem for some people.
I think it might be.
Yeah, especially those who like to desire profit.
So Biden's going to kick out people from the military, and already some of them were purged who aren't vaccinated. And now we have major PubMed articles coming out saying, stop. Please stop. It's not a good idea. This is not working out the way that you thought it was going to work out, because you didn't do the testing, by the way. Right? And they're not going to fucking listen to it. I would imagine not, because I would admit to being wrong.
Yeah, they're not really fans of doing that.
I'm not sure how accurate this is. This is breaking news. But this is from the German government, which says that originally the German government had reported 1 severe reaction per 5,000 vaccine injections, not 1 per 5,000 people, as incorrectly stated in the first tweet from the German Ministry of Health. So, just to be clear, they are reporting 1 in 5,000 per jab. People have had 2 jabs, plus now 2 boosters. Put together that data, it's 1 in 300 have severe reactions.
That's quite high.
Yeah. It's 1 in about 300, just based on the data. If you've had 2 jabs and 2 boosters, it's 1 in 300. If these data are correct, coming from the German government. Now, related to that, look at have you seen this shit? This one blew my mind, dude. Pfizer asked court to dismiss whistleblower lawsuit because the government was aware of the fraud.
Come again?
The lawyer representing whistleblower Brooke Jackson said Pfizer is arguing the court should dismiss Jackson's lawsuit alleging fraud in Pfizer's COVID-19 clinical trials because the U.S. government knew about the wrongdoings but continued to do business with the vaccine maker.
That doesn't sound good.
This is insane. A lawsuit filed by whistleblower Brooke Jackson alleging Pfizer and 2 of its contractors manipulated data and committed other acts of fraud during Pfizer's COVID-19 trials is paused following a motion by the defendants to dismiss the case. In an interview with the defender, Jackson's lawyer said Pfizer argued the lawsuit, which was filed under the False Claims Act, should be dismissed because the U.S. government knew about the wrongdoings of the clinical trials but continued to do business with the vaccine maker. Under the False Claims Act, whistleblowers can be rewarded for confidentially disclosing fraud that results in a financial loss to the federal government. However, a 2016 U.S. Supreme Court decision that expanded the scope of a legal principle known as materiality resulted in a series of federal court decisions in which fraud cases brought under the False Claims Act were dismissed. As interpreted by the SCOTUS, if the government continued paying a contractor despite the contractor's fraudulent activity, the fraud was not considered material to the contract. Do you understand what that means?
A little bit.
The TLDR there is that if this is true, that because the U.S. government was continuing to work with Pfizer and was aware of their fraudulent data, you can't sue them.
Which sounds insane.
It sure does, doesn't it? I know it's giving you that like read for free thing. I just read through the article because I've got an account with Epoch Times.
Oh, there we go.
It's the other 2 defendants. Okay, Pfizer claims they can get away with fraud as long as the government would write them a check, despite knowing about the fraud. Attorney Robert Barnes said. If you don't know who Robert Barnes is,
I know who Robert Barnes is. Yes.
Yeah. The other 2 defendants in the case, Ventavia Research Group, which conducted vaccine trials on behalf of Pfizer, and Icon PLC, also a Pfizer contractor. In an attempt to strengthen the False Claims Act anti-retaliation provisions and install new safeguards against industry-level blacklisting of whistleblowers seeking employment, Congress in 2021 introduced the False Claims Amendment Act of 2021. In December of 2021, Pfizer hired a well-connected lobbyist, Hazen Marshall, and the law firm Williams & Jensen to lobby against the bill. Pfizer, so they fought against us at every fucking step of the way.
Of course they did.
In other words, as long as the United States government kept paying them, even knowing they were lying about their data, now you can't sue and no one can find out about it.
Seems kind of sus,
Zenith,
doesn't it?
it's not just kind of sus, it's insane. Zenith for 5 says, I have trouble to talk about this with my family. I'm the only person I know who hasn't taken that. Yeah, I mean, my family took it because they were either required to or because they're older. But yeah. When did this happen, Arthur? It was in July 5th. So a week and a half ago. 2 weeks ago, I guess, yeah. And this is where we're at, though. This is Pfizer just doesn't have to say shit. They can just hide it from you because the US government kept paying them to do it. I know. It is absolute insanity. It is absolute freaking insanity. Sleepy Shadow. Yes, it is. You sent me this article, but it's worth bringing up because it's related. Doctor admits she lied to Trump about COVID. Yep. Dr. Deborah Birx admits being deceitful when recommending COVID strategies to Trump. I couldn't do anything that would reveal my true intention, she writes. To use the travel ban as one brick in the construction of a larger wall of protective measures we needed to enact very soon. Dr. Deborah, I know. Funny she talks about building a wall, but Dr. Deborah Birx, who served in the Trump admin as part of the COVID response team, has admitted in her book before Congress that much of the guidance she issued to mitigate the pandemic was arbitrary. In her book, Silent Invasion, she discusses the planning that went into the essential component of the strategy to handle COVID, one which has been roundly mocked. 2 weeks to stop the spread. The data used to back it up was from other countries.
Just sent a meme that someone sent me.
Huh?
Someone just sent me a meme. Someone sent me this. It says, let's have illegal immigrants hunt down sex offenders for a chance at citizenship. We'll call it aliens versus predators.
Hang on a minute. I'm kind of down for this.
That's really good. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm kind of all right with that. That proposal.
That's pretty good.
The data used to back it up was from other countries, and Birx intentionally obfuscated her intentions for a robust lockdown. Birx writes in her book about assembling a team that she could trust to, quote, look at the numbers and provide unvarnished analysis free from a hidden political agenda. There would be no groupthink within my inner circle, but after deciding to trust the data, Birx noted that the CDC, quote, didn't have the demographic data that she was looking for. Worse, the data it did would never have helped paint an accurate picture of the pandemic outbreak. The data as it was gathered, the sources it was gathered from, and the methods was not adequate to give a clear picture that could be used to make a conclusive public health recommendation. Birx said that there was essentially a silent spread of COVID, and there was no way to track it. This, she said, led to the U.S. staying, quote, stalled in the containment phase rather than aggressively mitigating. The normal way to track a virus was through detecting symptoms, but without seeing symptoms, there was no way to track it. What Birx was looking at was for a plan B. The existing CDC data wasn't of any use, Birx said, picking apart the CDC's approach, saying that they should have been more forceful in their data collection and in going into states and demanding information. Sorry, they weren't authoritarian enough for you, doctor.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, this is basically, how do they not be authoritarian?
Right. So, we'll continue for a little bit of this. Despite not having the adequate data, Birx went ahead and published her plans to convince Trump and his advisors to go along with her mitigation plan. She writes that in March of 2020, she met with the president, and her plan was to obfuscate her intentions for economic shutdowns, knowing that Trump was wary of anything that would tank the economy he had worked so hard to build. Quote, I couldn't do anything that would reveal my true intentions, she writes, to use the travel ban as a brick in the construction of a larger wall of protective measures we needed to enact very soon, end quote. Trump's team was more concerned about the impacts of potential for losses of lives to Americans of shutting society down. She blasts the administration. I know, right? She blasts the administration for their concerns over the economy, concerns which have played out in real time to the point where the country could be facing devastating impacts, as is the globe. This is the post-millennial. They have a right-leaning bias. But she writes, quote, the failure here does not belong to any one institution or person. It's bigger than that, broader than that. It defies any easy explanation or reflexive answers. It's easy to lay the blame at the feet of the Trump administration, but it's crucial to understand that the CDC had been fully funded for global health security since 2009. It was because of the failures that when it was time to offer guidance, it was based on speculation and it was arbitrary. The 2-week quarantine was eventually lessened to 10 days and then to 5. So in other words, she made it up.
It's been since 2009. Well, you've had many years to actually do something about it. You didn't do jack shit. So I'm kind of like, skeptical I am of your motives or capacity to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. But it's completely fucking bullshit though. Like, in other words, she had no fucking clue. She looked at data and then didn't like the data and just made up her own shit. Thanks. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Yeah, Bill came back. He wanted to steal some vodka. Here's another later part of this is Jordan asked Birx, when the government told us the American people, the people who hadn't been vaccinated could not get it. Were they guessing or were they lying? I don't know, Birx said. All I know is there was evidence from the global pandemic that natural reinfection was occurring, and since the vaccine was based on natural immunity, what I thought we were told that natural immunity didn't exist, you cannot make the conclusion that the vaccine will do better than natural infection, although it can often do slightly better. When the government told us the vaccine couldn't transmit it, was that a lie or was that a guess or is it the same answer, Jordan asked. I think it was a hope that the vaccine would work that way, Birx said, going on to say that doctors and public health experts needed to be, quote, at the table. Why do you think it was a hope, Jordan asked. So what do we know? So what we do know is that it wasn't the truth, so they were either guessing, lying, or hoping and communicating that information to citizens of this country. I think they were hoping, Birx said. I'm struck with the irony. We've got government agencies guessing, hoping, or lying with information they're presenting to the American people, Jordan said, noting that the Biden admin had looked to create a disinformation governance board where they are, quote, the biggest purveyors of misinformation, false information, hopeful information, but not accurate and true information. So just to be clear, they had no fucking idea the entire time. It was all hopes and prayers, right? They lost 2 years. Yeah, Mark Mercer, exactly. Source, I made it the fuck up. Exactly.
You remember those people who for like 3 years said that this is a bunch of crap and everyone called them crazy conspiracy theorists?
Yeah, remember how I just read you an article or from a medical from the NIH about how you shouldn't get any more boosters?
Yep.
Oh, here we go. From July 19th. 2 weeks after that was published in a medical journal. Why you need to get COVID-19 boosters again and again. This is from yesterday. Several highly effective vaccines were developed at an unprecedented speed to combat the COVID-19 pandemic during the phase 3 clinical trials and blah, 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 blah. Nobody gives a shit. Why do we need booster doses? The primary series of vaccine kickstarts the immune response by engaging lymphocytes, white blood cells that detect specific features of the pathogen to expand in numbers and become instructed to eliminate the pathogen. Most of these cells disappear over time, except for a small subset of cells that are kept by the body for future use. These memory cells are responsible for long-lasting immunity against a given pathogen. What boosters do is stimulate the memory lymphocytes to quickly expand in numbers and to produce even more effective defenders. The booster also selects for B cells that can secrete antibodies that are even better at binding and blocking virus infection and spread. Time.com, your data is at odds with published medical analysis. But they're not going to stop saying this shit.
Yeah, but we're not.
No. Doctors are now coming out and saying they were kind of encouraged to lie, encouraged not to, or at least encouraged to not speak out and not tell the truth. And now, but they're not stopping because they've gotten so used to this. They've gotten so freaking used to it that they can't go back from it, right? They're so bunkered down into this bullshit. Which brings me to, I have a couple more things on COVID that are funny, but this article is hilarious. Actually, would you? I'd like you to maybe take this one if you wouldn't mind, my friend, because this is funny as shit. It's fairly short, but it's really funny. It's from Politico, called "You Trust the Media More Than You Say You Do."
Okay, this is intriguing.
Uh-huh.
If you follow the trend line of plummeting trust in newspapers, which we do, as just updated by Gallup, you could make an argument that by the year 2030, after the Great Reset is finished and we're all dead anyway, or so, 0% of respondents will say they have any confidence in newspaper and TV news. No, it's because, actually all of them would say because you're living in 1984.
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous, but that's the direction the data is headed. In 1979, 51% of those polled said that they had a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in newspaper journalism. Yeah, that's because there's more competition now. That's why no one fucking believes you.
Or because they keep lying. How about that?
Yeah, but there's more if there's more competition that shows that they're bullshit, then there we go. But in Gallup's latest poll this week, the numbers dropped to 16%. 16%.
Have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in newspaper journalism. 16%.
So I'm just blown away by that figure. 16.
Yeah, well, I'm familiar with these data
digits.
because I've been looking at them. I've been looking at them for years. So, read the next sentence.
Marking a steep 4.5-decade decline. Confidence in TV news has fared even worse, dropping from 46% in 1991 to 11% today. Jesus fuck.
11% of people trust television news, as they should, by the way.
Yeah, and yet people are still stupider.
Yeah, true.
Will the latest respondent, or will the last poll respondents to lose confidence in newspaper and TV news, please cancel his subscription and turn off the TV? Agreed. The downer news about the news. Terrible writing. Is its hellbound trajectory surely measures something, but what? That the news is fake and gay.
Yeah, I love just watching articles like this try to cope and seethe and try to figure out how to spin this shit. Like they have to report on some of the data, but then they have to kind of spin it. That's why I thought you might enjoy this one.
Yes. Other surveys by the Pew Research Center and the Reuters Institute bring similar findings. Could it be that newspapers are demonstrably worse than they were decades ago? Yes. No.
But she says, I'm assuming this is a woman. No, it's Jack. It's a soy boy.
No. Would anybody who was reading newspapers in the 1970s say that? No. An honest assessment would find today's newspapers more timely and accurate.
I know. More timely. Jack says that today's newspapers are more timely, accurate, fair, and oft better written than newspapers of 1979.
Then why is your rating plummeting for like 40%, you dumbass?
So what gives?
Newspapers aren't alone in suffering a confidence decline. Jeez, I wonder fucking why. Is it because all of you news apparatus get the fucking news from the same fucking source you
I know.
fucking get? As Gallup reported earlier this month, 11 of 16 important American institutes have witnessed significant declines in confidence, including the criminal justice system, the presidency, the Supreme Court. Well, the Supreme Court right now is actually fucking based, by the way. Public schools and even the military. All run by the left, isn't that curious? Congress rated only 4% in confidence in the Gallup poll, beating out the news meter for last place. So as much as you hate the Supreme Court, you fuckwits are doing even worse. Does that mean that we should? Does that mean that we should throw away Congress and actually, I'm gonna yes, we should do that. Citing a near universal decline in institutional confidence isn't an attempt to offer an excuse for newspapers, but that actually is what you're doing right now. That is why you brought up all the other ones before, is to make yourself look good.
Exactly. That's exactly why. Yeah. I told you this article is pure seethe and cope, which is why I liked it.
But it illustrates the pervasiveness of public colic. I've never heard
colic is like it's an old form when a baby would cry and cry and cry and there's no parent.
Terrible sorry, this is not language, my vocabulary. And suggests the institutions might not have changed as much as the perception of them have. No, it's because you suck. That's.
No, it's all in your mind. The reporting is better now than ever. It is in
my mind. I have facts and reason in my mind. That's what leads me to the conclusion that these guys are peddling wank. The best explanation for the uniform drops might that we're living in an age of heightened criticism and scrutiny. Like, yes, people have more information than they can see your shit. That leaves no faults or blemishes unnoticed compared to earlier years. Okay, so that part is correct. Politicians, activists, and the press itself, they're the same fucking people, by the way, are all more critical of institutions than they were in the 1970s. Yeah, because you're worse now, you fucking moron.
No, again, it's been all in your head. It's better now than ever.
Again, I have
You already
rational
said
common
it.
sense in my noggin. If
He
the
said it
public...
earlier that they're way better.
No, they're not. They're just gay. That's hoping. If the public has lost confidence in some institutions, which it has, how did they come to that realization? Because they can see it faltering in their fucking daily lives, you dumbass. Like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? This isn't rocket science. You could just see it.
I know.
It's safe to say that they learned...
Sorry, but it just puts a big fucking smile on my face of how dumb this is, right?
Jesus Christ, these people are thick as shit. It's safe to say that they learned much of what they knew about institutional failings from what they read in newspapers or saw on TV news. Or that when they ever go to the petrol pump, I don't want to call these people this stupid all their name, but fucking Jesus Christ, this is embarrassing. In this environment, even the common man becomes a hanging judge, especially when the press goes on trial. No, it's because they can see it. It's, again, this is not rocket science.
Do you want to take the... You should make a video on this article. I found this for you.
Yes, I probably will make a video on this. Another possible reason the press might have lost confidence. Reporting has not just become more critical in the past 40 years, but...
It's become more critical. They're even better now than ever. Are you alright? Did you have an aneurysm? Spoon?
Yes, I have...
Don't die.
I have no words. I'm just sitting here fucking speechless.
Do you see why I wanted you to read this? How are you this out of touch? Just completely out of touch. Like, we read people lying all the time in media articles and stuff like that. But this, what are you doing?
This is a level of cope that is...
Cope, yeah.
Insane.
Again, why I saved it just for you. Oh no.
Sorry, like
don't hurt yourself in your confusion.
If I was a bit sleepy before, I'm fucking wide awake now. Jesus Christ. Reporting has not just become more critical in the past 40 years, you gotta be fucking shitting me, but also started covering topics and largely untouched in earlier times. Yeah, because they didn't need to, you fuckwit, because they weren't being propagandized all the fucking time. As Matthew Pressman wrote in his 2018 book, which I will use as toilet paper, on Press, the liberal values that shape the news. Yeah, and you've been shaping it into a pile of wank. As recently as the early 1960s, newspapers largely ignored matters of race, sex, class, and inequity. Yeah, and it was better then.
Yeah, because we're focused on things that actually matter instead of id poll, which does nothing but divide people.
Yeah, exactly. There weren't many stories about gender or trans issues in the 1979. Oh my!
You right? You right? Snopes on this article, Troll with the Purpose. I have one more. I actually have a Snopes thing if you'd like to bring it up. I didn't put it in here, but it's really funny. I'd like to show it to you for a second.
Do you ever see that episode of Scrubs where Dr. Scrubs just said, "You have an even better day, you," and then he walks over to the
Dr. Cox. I did call him Dr. Scrubs, but that's close enough. Have I ever seen an episode of Scrubs? Yes. The answer is yes, and the answer is how many times is about 10.
And then he starts smacking his head repeatedly in the thing. I'm that.
Yeah. Yes, I love Dr. Cox.
Yes, general trans issues because no one gave a shit. And no one continues to give a shit. It's why your reporting fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Disabled cows, like organized religions, get much more scrutiny today than they did yesterday. Yes, it's because you woke... It's because the church is an ideological hurdle to your goals. That is the reason you have to go to church, you fucking nannies.
Mm-hmm.
Is the press at least partly responsible for the declining confidence in organized religion from 69 to 27 into 75 to 31 this year? Seems likely. If so, the disdain for the press might be linked to the blame the messenger mindset. No, it's because you're shit at delivering the fucking news. It's because your goal is to do spin and fucking ratings, not be accurate. It's also easy to summarize that some of the negativity toward the press originates in how many members of the political class talk about it. No, it's because you're inaccurate in reporting fucking news.
Exactly, yeah.
Politicians, you feudal cunts. Politicians have long blamed... It's because I can't say the F word, so I'm just going to call them cunts. Politicians
That's
have...
fine. You can do that one.
Yeah.
It was a fact check from you today from a year ago. I just saw it today and it made me laugh. But never mind, go ahead.
Politicians have blamed the press for their shortcomings and failures. Joe Biden blames literally everything else, especially the teleprompter. But that increased in the mid-1960s as George Wallace showered the press with his bile. And now you shower the people with your bile, media. This is why your ratings are plummeting. President Richard Nixon and his Vice President Spiro Agnew imitated Wallace to good political effect. Other polls have followed, but none so aggressively as President Donald Trump. Yes. Good man.
Yeah.
Who placed press bashing at the center of his oratorical agenda. That's because you suck, and he was actually a good president. Declaring that the fake news media, which is accurate, is the true enemy of the people. Well, yes, you can see your ratings have declined by 35% in 40 fucking years, so yeah, he actually has a point there. Even President Joe Biden is known to slam the press. Yeah, that's just because he's sucking right now, and therefore he's going to blame you. Whereas Trump blamed you because he was actually doing good work, and you were just still lambasting him because you're a bunch of cunts. Last month on Jimmy Kimmel Live, he blamed some of his troubles on sensationalist press and click chasing. I mean, that is true, but the click chasing is also accurate in this case. In our polarized age, particularly one where internet myths proliferate, yes, like the fact that you are actually doing good reporting is an example of fake fucking news, the people struggle to distinguish news from opinion. No, not really. I mean, if you can say like, hey, look, it's never been better than before. We don't need the press to tell us that's crap. You can just see it in petrol prices and inflation and prices of goods and services. It's no surprise that so many are eager to discount the media. Jesus Christ, Aiden, why are you doing this to me? Yet does the public...
I said this because I knew this is exactly the kind of rage bait that you would make a video on, and I happened to find it.
Does the public really have such a low opinion on newspapers?
Well, gee, I wonder why.
I need more drinks. I need alcohol.
Do you need alcohol?
Yes.
We have one more thing I wanted to cover, which is the Tackle Sunbird guy.
If I do a video on this, I'm just going to call it "I Hate Everyone."
You could call it just "I Hate Aiden." I mean, I'm the one who sent it to you.
Aiden is bad friend.
No, I'm not a bad friend. I sent you a thing that I thought for sure would be like, I saw this article and I was like, this looks like something Spoon would read in a video, would yell at in a video, you know?
Yes, it's late in the evening, so I'm trying not to be very aggressive.
That's all right.
But if I were to do a video of this, I would probably just start this going, fuck. It's just going to be the camera.
Right. So I have one more topic, which is that because this shit drives me up the... finish this. Yeah.
Okay.
First.
Gallup's wording of its question is pretty vague. Does the media suck? It's not a vague question. It's pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't ask respondents to rate the specific newspapers they read, but to express their level of confidence in the newspaper as an institution. That's not vague. That's really straightforward, actually. They might have gotten a more positive answer if they asked people how they feel about the daily newspaper they actually read. But again, you need to ask which one. When the Pew Research Center asked this question in 2005, they found that 80% of Americans give favorable ratings to their daily.
Huh?
Okay, that's really weird the way they word that. Local TV news.
Their daily. They mean that's like whatever their daily newspaper is.
Yeah, but I feel like there should be a comma there, not a full stop. Yeah. Local TV news, cable news, and network TV.
No, to their daily. It should be a full stop to their daily. It's not well written, but yeah.
Okay.
It should be a full stop.
Yeah, our only rated slide was granted their data from a 17-year-old survey, but it shows asking a slightly different question about the press can produce a startlingly different answer. Yes, could it also be because the news was perhaps more accurate and there was a war? Could that
Can you
maybe
hear
be the
that shit?
case? Yes, I can.
God damn, sorry.
Yeah.
You see why I don't like motorcyclists over here? Because, like, God damn it.
Yeah. Hating newspapers but loving one's own daily has a congressional parallel familiar to many in Washington. In 1978, political scientist Richard Fenno formulated Fenno's paradox, arrogant bastard, which says that people generally disapprove of Congress but support their own congressman. That's why members of Congress run against Congress. If Fenno's paradox applies to newspapers, perhaps the crisis in confidence Gallup has measured isn't all of what it's cracked up to be. Or it could be
That's what's called a fucking cope. It's what you just wrote there. That is a straight up cope.
Yeah.
People don't like the news because you lie, Politico. You lie constantly, and all you get called out for is lying in every single
correct. Newspapers
freaking
today
week.
are only used good for kindling. Yeah, I agree. Also,
Exactly, Jordan.
also,
just stop lying, and people might trust you again. Ding dong.
yeah, but they have to lie.
They have to lie.
Yeah, they're
clicks,
yeah, they're a propaganda arm of the state.
Predatory business and sickening.
Also, this is a random thing I'm gonna say. A good reason to keep newspapers around. They're good for window cleaning.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know if people actually know that.
That is true. That's a good point. 1 point for newspapers.
Yeah. What was the other thing you want me to read?
Oh, that was it. I was gonna move into the topic of how much do you know about the Andrew Teckle Sundberg thing?
I have no idea what the hell you just said.
Okay. All right. So there is a shooting in the United States, as there is every day, but you know.
Another day, another shooting.
But there's a video here that I think you should watch, and I think everyone should watch. Search warrant: 2 snipers shot, killed. 2 snipers shot, as in they took the shot.
I can't get access to this.
You can't access this?
No.
KARE 11. It should be a Chicago news or Minneapolis newspaper.
Oh, I can't access
Really?
it.
Hang on, let me find another source. Really?
Yeah.
Fucking weird. Should I just read it?
Yeah. Well, you have to because I can't access it.
Just type in Andrew Teckle Sundberg. See if you can find something up. I was just gonna read this article because it was from a local paper. But so while attempting to evacuate the building, officers started taking fire, prompting them to exit the building and call SWAT, according to a search warrant. Minneapolis, a recently unsealed search warrant is providing more details into a 6-hour standoff that ended with police shooting and killing a man inside an apartment complex in Minneapolis, now identified as Andrew Teckle Sundberg. I can't get over the fact that his name's Teckle. According to the search warrant, which was issued Thursday morning, while attempting to evacuate the apartment building, officers started taking fire, prompting them to exit the building. At that point, Minneapolis police requested assistance from the SWAT team, the warrant reads. When the SWAT team arrived, 2 snipers set up on the roof of a nearby apartment building, according to the court documents. Let me just be clear about what the fuck I just said to reiterate. There's a guy in an apartment building. They were called to the apartment building saying he had a gun. He started shooting at the cops. Okay? Just so everyone's clear about what would happen, all right? He shot at the cops. The cops went to get back up, and they put snipers on the roof. At some point during the standoff, now, information about this is still coming out, so we don't actually know, as far as I'm aware right now, I could be incorrect, but this was as of me looking this up earlier this evening, why they were called to the scene in the first place, but I think we have a pretty good idea. At some point during the standoff, the 2 snipers shot the male subject. The search warrant reads, the man later identified as Sundberg was transported to HCMC where he died. Minneapolis officials identified the 2 officers. Minneapolis spokesperson said the fatal shots were fired. Blah, blah, blah. It's just about the time and stuff. There's nothing that's relevant. A mother with 2 young children called 911 and told dispatchers that someone was firing shots through their apartment. That's what we do know. This guy, this Sundberg dude, is shooting shots through apartments. He was a neighbor of this person, the woman who called the police, by the way. We do know that. We're going to get into what she's going to say in a moment. The family of Sundberg has hired prominent civil rights attorneys Ben Crump. Oh my God, Ben Crump. And Jeff Storms Crump and Storms, Jeff Storms. Crump and Storms have previously worked cases involving police shootings in Minnesota, including representing the families of George Floyd. I'm sorry. George Floyd, Daunte Wright, and Amir Locke. In an email from Crump and Storms, Sundberg's parents, Mark and Cindy, released the following statement. If I'm sounding a bit flippant here, it's because what we already know about this case is this guy was just fucking shooting up the apartment building that he was living in. Okay? So, I've got some issues with this. First and foremost, you want the world to know that Teckle was deeply loved and his family... Why would you name... What kind of fucking name is Teckle? Deeply loved, and that his family and friends are beyond shocked and grieving at these horrific events. Teckle was a son, brother, grandson, uncle, nephew. It's the same kind of stuff. Like, but I'm not grieving for this guy, so I'm not gonna fucking read their fucking statement. Sorry, I don't have respect for what the fuck this guy stood for, without telling you what the fuck exactly it was. My last, hopefully for forever for the evening, New York Post article. This is. Let me make sure that this has the stuff on it. Or yes, this is it. The video on this article, if you could play it, is what I mostly wanted to show. Wait. The article I do want to read, but let me see if I can find the full interview. 1 second, because the woman whose house was shot into, his neighbor, has some things to say. Teckle Sundberg interview. They try to cover this shit up hardcore. Is this a... Make sure... I thought I found the right thing. I thought I had the video in here. No, this is it. Okay. I'm gonna pop this in the watch together. You still up, Spoon?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. This is insane. We're gonna skip ahead. Okay. So here... This is the woman whose house was shot into, okay? So what you're looking at here is there was, of course, a giant Black Lives Matter fucking protest outside of the apartment building after this guy gets shot, where they're all crying and being like, oh, the fucking cops, they're so racist. They're so evil. The terrible, evil, awful, terrible cops. How dare they kill this innocent black man? Why don't you listen to the woman who was his goddamn neighbor? Here we go. Do you have the video up? Let me know. Yeah. All right, just making sure. Okay. This is the woman whose house was shot into. She's coming home and finds this giant spectacle in front of her fucking apartment building. You'll be able to hear her more in a second. So hang on.
We're here just to respect life. Any life.
Oh, just to respect life. Respect life. Are you? What about the life of her children? How about that?
We're not condoning anything.
Are you?
But we just want full and police. We want accountability. We're not condoning.
Can you hear her in this? If not, I have the transcript.
We're not condoning any behavior.
They're talking over her, yeah. I have the article though.
If he was shooting, doing something, or
if he was shooting, doing something, yeah, he was.
We're not condoning that at all, but we're just saying we want the same treatment for us as they give white people.
She's mixed race, by the way.
We want the same treatment for Teckle as the person that they gave.
So this guy's screeching over her with a fucking loudspeaker.
That's all we're asking for.
I'm gonna read you what she said, cause
you know we're alive today.
Okay, that's cool. That's really cute. Here's what she was saying while they're yelling over her with the fucking loudspeaker, right? Because I have the transcript. Okay. All right. So, here's what it was. The mother, Arabella Foss-Yarburg, called the police last Wednesday after her neighbor, Andrew Teckle Sundberg, allegedly fired shots into her apartment as she was cooking for her 2 young children. The gunman was shot dead, etc. This is not a George Floyd situation. George Floyd was unarmed. This is not okay. Foss-Yarburg was seen yelling at a group of protesters on Saturday. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. So, this is not the best video again. There are better videos of her talking. But when this guy is talking over here, just be aware that's what she's saying. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. Photos from inside Foss-Jarberg's home showed multiple bullet holes in her front door, walls, and just above her bathroom sink. Regardless of the circumstances of the shooting, BLM activists, including Tareen Cruz, a lead organizer for BLM Minnesota, gathered outside the building on Saturday to demand justice for Sundberg. We're here to respect life, demand justice. You heard that part. We're demanding the release of the body cam footage, Cruz chanted. But when Foss-Jarberg pulled up her car to the building, she unleashed on the protesters, who included Sundberg's parents. My kids have to deal with this probably, and have to deal with this and probably have a mental illness now because they almost lost their lives, she said. There's bullet holes in my kitchen because he sat in the fucking hallway watching me move. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. I have black children. I'm a woman of color, Foss-Jarberg, who is of black, white, and native descent, yelled. If I would have lost my life, would you do this for me? Yes, ma'am, Cruz responded. Doubt. Doubt. Just doubt. If she had been killed by him, just be one of the countless black on black crimes that happens every day in every city in the US. It's only because he was killed by police. It's only because he was killed by police.
Yeah, because he literally said the whole thing, we want accountability. So
Yeah.
obviously, if it was someone else that killed him, he wouldn't give a shit. By his own fucking logic, he wouldn't give a shit.
Also, I think, and I'm not sure about this, but I think his parents are white. He's adopted.
Wow, that's even worse.
I'm not sure. I don't know that for sure, but I've seen mixed reports on that. I guess that'd be not to make a pun, but yeah, the Sundberg parents were outside the building when Foss broke in front of the protesters. They said they empathized with their neighbor. Quote, I wish I could wrap my arms around her and tell her I'm so sorry, Cindy Sundberg said. I'm so sorry she had to experience that. I'm sorry for her pain. Tekel was an imperfect human, but we're all imperfect humans, and he did not deserve to be picked off like an animal from a rooftop. He was trying to kill people. Yes, his parents are white. He has adopted parents that are both white. Fucking A. Just fucking A. And they're out here, these Black Lives Matter protesters are out there telling this woman to shut the fuck up. Like, again, you have to hear I read what she said, but just listen to this for a second now.
Out here and demand accountability.
Not listening to her at all, are they? She was almost killed.
Deserves to die.
Well, apparently her kids did, and she did.
Exactly. The police are
Look how little they fucking care. Look at this black guy's Black Lives Matter hat. Oh, he's having a good old fucking time, isn't he? He's got a Black Lives Matter hat and a Black Lives Matter sticker on his fucking phone. Look how happy he is. He doesn't care about her screaming and crying because she almost got fucking killed, does he?
Accountable for their crimes.
No.
So if he was shooting, he should have been arrested and convicted.
Look, they're all turning away. They're trying to look away from her.
It's not the police's job.
It's not the police's job. It's not the police's job to deal with a man who's an active shooter. You heard it here first, folks.
That explains the Uvalde shooting.
Yeah.
Again, we're not excusing anything that happened.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. This is so screwed, right?
A little bit.
They're absolutely excusing what he did. This woman, her kids almost got killed. Awful. Absolutely awful. So that one fucking makes me mad. And they're all trying to cover her up. Nobody... And by the way, the news cameras, like, they all left. The second that... That's why they're not getting her audio either. They didn't want people to actually hear what she was saying. They really didn't. You can hear it. There is audio of this. I just found the wrong video, but yeah.
I haven't got the chance to pray.
Oh, here you go. You can hear some of it. Oh, how cute is that? Fox 9 turns on their audio for her after her entire speech. Look at that. None of them checked on him, yeah? None of you cared. All of a sudden, they realize who the hell she is. They had to turn the mic on, right? They realized that she was the woman whose kids almost got killed, and she almost got killed. So yeah, another thing, she's saying everyone knew he was nuts.
He was a bad guy. I wish this never happened. He had 6 hours to be alive or be dead. It's true. He shot through my kitchen. He was in the hallway and heard me running the water while I was cooking for my kids. I just came home from holiday at 8:37 p.m. Did you guys have any prior issues? Yes, he wrote
Look at this woman, basically telling her to shut up. Look at her fucking flippant attitude. She's telling her to shut up, essentially. This woman and her kids almost got killed. And no, because you're upsetting our freaking narrative. It's sickening, man. It really does make me sick. It's more important to defend your narrative than to give a damn about this. And it just shows you. Do Black Lives Matter?
Not that these people know.
Oh, Cosmic Dogeron for 2 says his parents aren't white, they are Jay's wink. Right? Well, it's interesting though, right here. Thank you, by the way. But Black lives don't. This woman's life doesn't matter. Her kids' life don't matter. Kids' lives don't matter. It only matters because they can use it for a political narrative to say that black men are being shot by police. No one. This would not be national news if he had just killed her and her kids. Let's be real.
Yeah,
right?
of course, no.
No one across the world would have heard about this story. It wouldn't be national news if he had just shot into her apartment and killed her and her 2 kids. It was just another day in Minneapolis. You notice how they only turned the volume on for her after a certain point, right?
Yeah.
When they realized who she was. Oh, I feel for her. Do you?
I don't believe
Look
that,
at this
actually.
type of stuff. She's the freaking victim. This guy was nuts. He tried to kill her and her family. And nobody cares about her. Good, you should carry my lady. Nope. No, they wouldn't care. She's completely right. She's so right. Look, go away, cover, don't stop filming, stop, shut it off, turn it off. See this? That's exactly that shit. Because you wouldn't know the fucking story. You wouldn't know the goddamn story. It was only because he was shot by police that any of us are seeing this shit. This woman is completely correct. And I feel terrible for her and her family, you know? Like, goddamn. Like, the only reason anyone knows about any of this, and their own community is covering it up to protect a political narrative.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Sick. It is super fucked up, isn't it? She's hit her chest so hard. Look how red it is. She's fucking understandably infuriated. No, she could have died easily. See, he was known to be a kind of menace. Pacing. Oh, what a good point.
You guys celebrate a man's life that tried to kill him.
Oh, there it is. And there's the mic drop. Yep. AJW called it the mic drop moment, and that's the mic drop moment, right? Not only did none of them do anything for him while he was alive, but now she can't even get into her own apartment, and they're all out here celebrating the life of a man who tried to kill her and her children because of a political fucking narrative. And good on her. There's the mic drop. You can't. What are you gonna say? What would you possibly say to come back from that after she says that? You know, what could you possibly say to come back from that mic drop moment? You know,
No, I think she's correct.
I think she's correct as well. I think there's only like a second or two left here. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look. Oh, and then they start packing up the cameras now, don't they? Let's go. Because you know you have no answer to that goddamn statement. And I know why she's enraged. I can sympathize, I can't empathize. But goddamn. So, we are getting close to midnight. I hope I've induced some rage in everyone. I know I put some rage in you.
A little bit, yeah.
I hope you all have enjoyed this week's show.
You see
And
the
I hope
stupid
you all
shit that I've been doing this whole damn time?
have you been streaming it? Has it been on the stream?
No, it hasn't been on stream.
No. Why don't you show off? What have you been modeling?
Oh, the Pegasus thing?
Yeah. Show it off.
Hold on.
Spoon's been doing. It's not a Pegasus. It's like a Syrian.
May as well be a friggin' Pegasus.
I guess. Spoon's doing it is modeling for it's like a new background for your
Yeah,
character,
I don't know
right?
why I did. I just went like, why am I doing this? And I have no fucking idea, actually.
Because it's fun. Either way, that was Spoon gets it up.
There we go.
It's a less eventful week this week than some weeks, but it's never a non-eventful week in politics. That's why I got so invested in it back years ago. Now it's like, well, it's never a goddamn even a boring week is not a boring week. There's always something to make you enraged,
Yeah.
right?
There you go. This is what I've been trying to model.
All right, let's critique Spoon's art. Actually, I think it looks really cool. So that's his model he's basing off of, yeah. And then where's your match? It's hard to tell, but yeah, it looks really cool. Like you can actually get the 3-dimensional stuff in it. It's supposed to be a bas relief. Bas relief? Bas relief? The bum. I feel like if we keep talking about bums and pushing this bit in here, people will take that a lot of context and. Glutes. It's supposed to be a relief on a wall, so it's not supposed to be totally 3-dimensional.
Yeah, sorry. It's
No,
no.
that's what he's been working on. That's what he's been working on.
It's that I'm muted.
While we were going over important news coverage. He does look awesome, though. I'm excited to see the final, the entire room put together.
Oh, the room's over here. Hold on. Fuck's sake. If the reason I keep being muted is because,
Stop muting yourself.
It's because the control button moves the fucking camera.
Well, then you have to change it off to put it on a different button, my dude. Bruh. Wait, where? I'm a couple seconds behind, obviously. So. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, like I said, it takes me a couple because I'm watching the thing, so it should be fun. I like the piano. You got the staircase working, so Spoon is quite talented. If you like his stuff, he did do the design for the logo for the channel for this channel. And if you like that stuff, and would like to support the channel, you can. I think there's a link to the merch. Yes, there is below. You can also join our Discord and hang out and contribute whatever you like. And we do also the D&D stream on every Tuesday. So thanks so much for hanging out and showing up, guys.
Someone said, "Did I design the background?" Yes, I designed the background for my video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also, someone said the railings are nice. Yeah, it's more classical than the previous background. That was the kind of the whole point, because the previous background is. Someone said it looks too aggressive, because everything in the previous background is very angular. There's almost no soft corners in the whole thing. Like that is very true. Except from I think the railings, whereas this railing is incredibly detailed, as you can fucking see.
It is incredibly detailed. Yeah.
Yeah, and this took me fucking ages to do. Especially like these little fucking baubles you see here on the end. Actually, this would have taken longer if Aiden just said, "Can't you just copy and paste them?" And I went,
I know.
Oh, yeah,
I was
actually.
like Spoon. He was just like recreating every single one. I was like, just copy and paste it.
Yeah,
just
so you
copy
just said-
and paste it.
Yeah, what I did is you can take the bauble at the end here and extract it. And what I wanted to do was take a circle and then just mesh a new piece onto it. And Aiden just said, "Why don't you copy and paste the original piece that you just did and then just mesh it onto a previous one?" And went, "Oh yeah, I could just do that." And then as soon as I just
You had like an epiphany.
yeah, we're like, "Oh my god, this saved me like hours of fucking work." Cause like, yeah, this railing.
Also,
looks
Dan Cox
fancy as shit, by the way.
won the primary for governor in Maryland for year 12, who was a Trump pick. And yeah, Dan Cox seems different from decent from what I know of him. So we'll have to see. But yeah, it was like just copy the shape.
Yeah, the piano wasn't actually
Looks
that hard
really
to
nice.
do. Yeah. By the way, there's nothing on the other side of the piano because there doesn't need to be. Like if you're gonna model something and you're gonna render it, there's no point rendering something that the camera doesn't fucking see. You're just taking more memory and space. So what the fuck? So only render what you can actually see. I say that now because if you look at the previous scene that hold on, if I can, this is probably gonna crash. I don't even know where the hell my. I don't even know what the hell my previous one even was. Is it?
It looks
Okay.
good though, dude.
No, look for the biggest one. No, the bamboo. It's not the bamboo one. The bamboo one is fucking. Hold on.
Oh no. Oh no.
I did. Is it this? Don't crash.
Not organizing your
Please don't
folders.
crash. Please don't crash. Oh god.
Yeah, why do you use Maya instead of Blender?
Because Maya is good and Blender is gay.
All right, let's see. Can
Yeah.
it load it?
Yeah. No.
No, it can't. Uh-oh. Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this was the original background. Why not? Mhm. Because it's fun. Anywho, as much I think as much as I would be fine with Spin going on about his stuff, we are people are headed out and we'd already say goodbye. And I think are we doing next week? Should we do like, how about we do the car portions like a segment with you and Kiza? Yeah, my brain died for a second, and well, we could do it. Would you guys? I know people are leaving out now, but if you'd be interested in doing a, but we're gonna do it no matter what. We're gonna do a little bit of a car segment next week. We're Spoon and Kiza are gonna talk cars. I think we'll do it that way, yeah. Yeah, we'll do the vehicle. We'll do a whole car segment. Anywho, guys, I think we're gonna head out for the evening. I know. I'll be online. I'll talk to you, my dude. I'll probably be around. but I think we will end the stream here for the evening. Thanks so much for showing up, guys, and I hope you had a fun time, even though the news is never that much fun. I have a new video written. I recorded half of it today. Should expect it in a week and a half to 2 weeks, I would expect. And hopefully, if I can get it done well, I'll let you know how the progress goes as it progresses. No, wait, no, just oh, okay. Anywho, hope to see you guys next week, and as always, Altana Volt, friends.